finally heal. And the only obstacle standing in the way of this union is the beauty standard. And when you think about it and look at the media basically polarizes white men and black women to be on opposite ends of the political spectrum and the social hierarchy, when in actuality, these are the two groups in America that are the backbone of this country. And so when we bring these two groups together, we can actually see reparations happen in a way that's more organic and natural. And this is part of the reason why I'm not pro-black, I'm pro-black woman. Not to say that I don't love black men, I do. But I think that when we as black women who are educated date outside of our race, we open ourselves up to the opportunity of actually receiving things like asset ownership, land, and property. So the question becomes, how do we fight against the beauty standard and position ourselves as women in these spaces where we can actually receive partnership that repairs our communities? Now, you guys know I'm also down for the matriarchy, and I think we should be only focusing on the top 10% of men. And so I think as women, especially as black women, we have to think like, how can we express our femininity in ways that attract this top percentile of men? And how can we put ourselves in rooms and have hobbies and interests and experiences in life that give us access to these men? Because you having a life insurance policy on a top 10% man and that person dying and passing down their wealth to you, and you being able to ascertain land and give back to universities and become a philanthropist and do repair is what could happen in one generation if we put our minds to it. And while I think the black race as a whole can experience its own life and vitality, I think us as black women have to think more strategically about who we're partnering with and not be married to this idea that pro-black nation is the only way. And if you guys have any studies or statistics that support this idea that white men and black women in America actually make the strongest union, I feel free to put those in the comments.
Blanche, we don't need 40 acres or a mule. We need white dick. Go.
So when I was very young, my mother told me there's only two free people in the world. And she said, I was about maybe 8 years old. She said, the white man and the black woman. My mom told me this at 8. I'm 47.
Okay.
So if I look at white men and black women, I would have to say that they're pretty much, in my opinion, equal. And I'm saying equal in the sense that black women pretty much have carte blanche in society, and so do white men. And however, reparations via interracial dating is insane. And this is crazy. So
she meant that shit. She said it was straight face. She didn't blink.
No flinching.
So here goes the elephant in the room. White men are attracted to all races of women like all men are. Beauty is beauty. Black women are saying beauty standards because they're not selected that much outside of their race, but it's not because of physical appearance. What she's doing is trying to find a workaround, not physical appearance, but the attitude and disposition of black women. That's what turns them off to most men around the world. So what she's doing is trying to find a loophole, but she can't, because it's not her beauty. There's plenty of white men that would probably date her or sleep with her or marry her or whatever. It's the fact that they don't like your attitude. And so they want somebody in the house who's going to be submissive, no pushback. And so she's putting out there like, we'll be all those things, we'll be submissive, and they probably will. What I find is black women don't behave the same way with white men as they do with black men. I find that when black women are with white men, they're on their best behavior. They are, they turn their assignments in early. They stay out of school doing their homework. They're doing everything, they're getting extra credit. It comes to white men. But when it comes to black men, he's supposed to understand the struggle. He's supposed to
skipping school.
Skipping school, right? Being tardy, being truant, vandalizing buildings, all that. They get reckless with us. So, yeah, but it's insane to say replace reparations with dating a white man. I get what she said, but it's just insane. And I think somebody said it. Black women do have an affinity for white men, but it's not because they're white. It's because if they look at the chart of who's on top, they're going to see white men on top. So it's natural for a woman in a hypergamous nature to want the top dog. However, if you look at the chart from the other end with black women, they're on the bottom. So it is going to be very difficult to pair the two. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't know.
All right, and before we can move on, thank you, young lady. Yesterday, I did a wonderful interview. It was about 45 minutes, and it was with Iyanla Vanzant. It's not on television yet,
What?
but you guys can go and watch, but you guys can go and watch it over on onlyfans.com/Tommy Sotomayor. I get it out where I get it out. It was a wonderful interview. It'll be on television probably next month.
Nice.
But
No
I
shit.
record everything I do because I know what they are able to do is, when you do a full interview with somebody, they can cut it.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
So I always record the whole thing. So when y'all go over there, y'all get to see it like it's me before I start talking to her. And what was great about it was she said that she was a fan, which was interesting. And she gave me a new nickname. She said, my name is Tommy. Say what the other motherfuckers won't say. And
Damn, I like that.
I did too. I said, that's fine. But I learned some things about her that I did not know. And you guys will learn it too if you go over there on the interview. Like, I didn't know she had 3 kids by 3 different men.
Whoa.
Whoa, neither. Oh my goodness. Why is he on?
And when you talk to me, I bring out stuff you didn't. I bring out stuff you wasn't expecting.
Iyanla exposed.
Yeah, like I said. Oh. And she had her first one. I'm not going to tell too much in the interview, but she had her first one at 16.
Damn, man.
And her second one before 20.
Whew. Wow.
I'm keeping it being with you, Tommy. That's
Damn,
kind of like normal.
Thank you.
Nowadays.
Thank
It's
you.
not even
My
really.
mom had 2 before 20.
Yeah,
By
it's
2
not
different men
really-
before 20.
Even at her age, to me, that's still shocking. I mean, what is she in her?
She's older though. Yeah,
60s. Yeah.
probably in the 50s. I'm thinking. Wow.
Why is that normal though? Like, I really have a problem.
No,
Like
what he's saying is
is-
we've seen it a lot.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot.
No. I understand that we have seen it a lot. I think the issue for me is, why is that normal? Like, what are we not teaching our children? Like, my mother didn't have me till she was 26. I didn't have my first child till I was 32, married, had some degrees. Like, why is that not what the norm is, especially at this point in society? Like, we know that welfare is a trap. You understand what I'm saying? We know that the baby mama, daddy thing is not working. It's not working for our girls. And I know we talk a lot about Black women. Let's talk about our little Black boys too. It's not okay for our little Black boys to get caught up in the child support trap before they're adults and before they're going to work. Why are we not changing that narrative? I'm gonna land it there though.
Yeah.
No, we have to start off by doing what Ask a Brother is saying, though. That's why I always tell people. You have to, it's part of the 12-step program. I got to get you to admit that the problem exists.
Right.
That's the first.
And I got to say what he says, because he caught me and made me say, you're right. Then I threw my own mom under the bus. That is a normal thing. I had an aunt that had a baby at 12.
Wow.
They had a daycare. They had a daycare at my high school for them to have their kids.
Yeah, and Raji, one of the things that I think we have to get away with or get away from is, I think, the assumption that all of us who have made mistakes or decisions didn't know or weren't taught certain things. I think a lot of us know and are taught whatever mistakes that we made in life in our teens and our 20s. We knew better. Most people did, to be fair. And I'm like, that's why we snuck around when we did it. That's why we hid it. That's why we didn't bring them home. Yeah, so it's a thing where it's like there's the combo of, yes, we would love it if everybody was taught a certain thing, but when you get into behind closed doors in these therapy sessions, when you meet with these people one-on-one, they're very cognizant of what they did and why they did it. I got pregnant with him because I liked him. I got pregnant by him because he was attractive, because he was the guy everybody else was attracted to too. I went unprotected because it felt good, and that's how I got her pregnant. Like, we got to stop pretending like 16, 17, 18, 22-year-old people don't know what's going on. I'm like, I think it's more so an issue of maybe consequences and reinforcements. So like the other gentleman just said, when I was in high school, when I was a freshman back in 2004, one girl getting pregnant at that time was like wild. Yeah. By the time we got to senior year, it was very normal, and we had programs and different things to kind of assist people. And so my whole point is like, I think it's one thing to say people are uneducated and don't know and aren't taught certain things. I think from a societal lens, from a religious lens, from a familial lens, we probably have way more information than we ever could. We see it from in our own families. who's struggling. We know a lot of information. We're just choosing as individuals to do it because we want to. And for me, like when I grew up, my mom made it very clear: you get somebody pregnant, you on your own.
Straight up.
That was what it was. And because my dad, but I'm saying every parent, like what I'm saying is they can know that that's not maybe the smartest, wisest move to make, but the reinforcing factor could be, but mom or dad still lets you stay. And I'm like, so for me, like that's what was my household, but that wasn't the case for other people that I knew. So
Can I say something to ask a brother? Because I kind of owe you an apology.
Mm-hmm.
Not an apology, but I'm gonna make an admission as a man.
Uh-oh.
You had upset me, so I was gonna go off on you.
Oh, that comment?
Yeah, I was gonna go. Let me tell you what I did though to go off on you. I said, let me go on this nigga's page. I said, I'm gonna go off on his page. I bet he was a lame when he was young. I saw his picture. I said, this nigga was fresh. I said, damn. I said, well, I bet his bitch ugly. I saw his wife. I said, damn.
Yo, cats is stress. Cats is stress, man, because I learned, I got on around 17, 18 was when things started to click for me. So, you know, as a freshman, I was very short, very thin. I weighed like 110 pounds as a freshman. So it took a while for me to kind of catch up, but I saw the change. Mm-hmm. And I saw the rules that they the rules they would have not broken for me when I was younger, didn't have certain things or weren't. I saw all the changes that everybody's talking about in the red pill space. I experienced it. So by the time I made it into college, it's totally different than high school. 180 difference. I'm the same guy. And I'm seeing the night and day difference. And I don't have to do much of anything.
Yep.
I just have to be there. And now it's at a place where it's like, you know, I'm not shit. You know, I was just with your friend on Tuesday and it's Thursday, and you still gonna do this anyway. And so I'm like, we're not going to sit here and pretend all of these women or young girls or whatever just don't know and they're ignorant and they don't have any information. At a time when you have every incentive in the world to want to chase the excitement, the thrill, getting with the black guy, getting with the guy everybody wants. We want what we want. And sometimes we pay for it and sometimes we get away with it. The unfortunate thing is like for the ladies, when they're not getting away with it, can result in a child. And that's
I gotta say something if y'all don't mind.
Can I pick it back? Oh,
go ahead, Dominic. I gotta say something to Miss Fantastic, and then I'm gonna say something about it. But I gotta say something to him, and then I'm gonna go to the ladies.
Okay, yeah. What Ask a Brother just said about the whole hypergamy thing? Yes, women break rules for the men they want, but they make rules for the men they don't. Okay, that's number one, and we all learn that very, 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 very clearly. But I wanna address something, and this is always something. This is just such the typical low IQ response. This woman says white women do the same thing. They get pimped out by their fathers to black affluent men, military, sports figures, etc., etc. You want to know why that's a low IQ argument? Because and to me, that's white supremacy. Okay. Because white people are doing it too, that makes it right? Okay, we're like black women do X, Y, and Z, and this is bad. Well, white people do it too, sweetheart. That doesn't make it right. Okay, it's such a low IQ argument when black people, this is black women and white women, like they always like to make the excuse, yeah, well, white people do it too. Yeah, so fucking what? That doesn't make it right. And if you as a black person are excusing or justifying your behavior because white people do it too, you, ma'am, are a white supremacist and you don't even know it.
Can imagine what goes through your mind to say this, as if you need to ask her, well, who are these white people that you know who did this? First off,
none.
Because they don't know them and they don't know any of them. So they then use the idea, and you hear it way more out of black women's mouth than you'd ever hear it out of a black man's mouth. The justification shit they do. You never hear a black man say, well, white men don't take care of their kids too.
The hell that got to do with it?
It's like the blonde hair black woman argument. They got blonde hair and they show you a picture that everybody's passing around. Remember you talked about that.
That's what I was going to get into with Blanche, but I got to see. I'm finna offend Mr. Fantastic or get him to agree with me. I'm going to do one of the two, brother. Did you see the story about the young black girl, the 12-year-old, who was supposedly gang raped by the boys. The boys were between 12 and 15. It's 5 of them.
Yeah. That was down here in Florida.
Yeah, okay. So you heard that story. I'm gonna say something and I need your opinion, then I'm gonna get the panel's opinion. And I can't, y'all don't give me a long opinion, just give me something very short of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Everybody was shocked about the 12-year-old black girl and this happened to them, and they all pretended like this was shocking. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I grew up here in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and let me tell you what. Running trains on 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls was a norm.
No, Tommy, that can't be true, dude.
Mr. Fantastic, am I bullshit?
No, I'm hour south from good old Macon, and I was never a train guy. We didn't have trains in Georgia, no subway, no none of that. I was more of a coupe type nigga, and I didn't like no passengers for real. So I never I was invited to a couple of trains, but I passed. But man, and that what makes it so weird is the aunt is saying the aunt is saying no, it was consensual, and the girl got caught, so she changed the story. And coincidentally, Tommy, there's been a number, like at least 3 significant stories of women lying on men, claiming
just because they got caught.
Yeah, and those women got arrested. So it's like 2 white women that recently got arrested for being found to be lying about men, and whatnot, what have you. Yeah. So the trial has to go on, of course, innocent until proven guilty, but you don't get that chance as a black man or a man, period. No. The easiest claim for a woman to ever make against a man is any type of sexual misconduct. Easiest thing. You're automatically you're guilty until proven innocent. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, man. You're guilty until proven innocent, and even if you're found innocent, you're still guilty. Remember the dude that did A Birth of a Nation, Tommy? What's his name?
Oh,
Nate Parker, or Nate. I think it's Nate Parker.
Yeah, Nate Parker. Yes.
Nate Parker literally went through this thing, beat the case, proved that the woman lied. He ended up, she deleted herself, and then they came back and blamed him and brought it up. And that's one of the big reasons Birth of a Nation tanked, because they resurfaced those claims, even though the man was exonerated beyond a shadow of a doubt. It was impossible for him to do what the woman claimed. They said, hey, this got off and made the woman kill herself. So yeah, man, even if you beat the case, bro, you never beat it.
I just want to say I appreciate y'all. Y'all didn't get to see it on the screen, but if y'all looked over on the side of all of the comments, because it would get in front of Blanche, so I didn't put them on the screen. I'm not crazy. I'm not rude or mean. This is something that was normal. It happened. These girls were sexualized at a young age.
Are you talking about 12 years old, Tommy? Like for real, no. For real?
Donovan, you got to go younger, bro.
All
right. South Jersey, Martin Luther King Elementary School. I am in 5th and 6th grade. And the conversations were starting then. Before I made it to high school. Because I'm freshman year, I'm 13. 1 to 2 years prior to that, I was hearing about, and they was telling me about the shorties that was doing the stuff.
That is out.
I got caught hunching a girl. We call them the South hunching. I got caught hunching a girl. I was 6. She was 7. Under the outside, because we seen it, because we grew up around old niggas that didn't care that they had kids, and we would walk in on our parents fucking all the time. So therefore, we was like, well, I guess that's what we got to do. So this girl pulled me on top of her under the thing and told me to do it, and then got up and said, now I'm pregnant.
Already lying.
What do you think the song "Let's Play House" came from?
Yeah,
kids back in the day used to play house because they could see their parents having sex.
What did house mean?
House meant that you got married, or you had children, or you had sex. No matter what, that's what it boiled down to. That you were having sex. You felt. Yes, when you were the song "House," "Let's Play House" by Dogpack.
Let's play house.
That came from when we were young.
If you remember, Tommy, Outkast Under 3000, that was a lyric. We hunching with our clothes on till we got excited. He literally put that in the song.
Oh, I didn't know that. How about that?
Yeah, he put it in
We Georgia boys. We try to be, the thing about Georgia boys that a lot of other people don't like is we're kind of very blunt. And people are like, well, Tommy, I'm like, if you meet niggas from Georgia, I am a dime a dozen. We all talk like this. I was just on the internet and y'all saw me on the internet. My uncle talk like this.
All the uncles, all the granddaddies. You know she a little hoe, ain't you? You know that. Oh my God. The whole family some hoes. She's just like a mama.
Dude.
Look at Melanin's face though. He's shocked the last 5 minutes.
Bro, y'all been shocking me this whole time this conversation started.
Oh my gosh. I grew up on a military basis, man. Like this is, I can't believe how young you said these girls are. Like you don't even.
Super young. Elementary school, bro. Elementary school.
So if they was doing all of this back when y'all were young, are we really shocked about the state of women nowadays?
Shit, I guess not.
No. Here's why we're shocked. Because when we were doing things, we were experimenting, we were small town, and then you kind of grew up and understood life. The difference is the girls remain girls and they 35. Their mentality didn't change. Their actions haven't changed. Their motives haven't even changed. Think about it. The little girl was scared that she got caught, so she told. You got grown-ass women doing the same damn thing. Yeah. I got caught at 35, so I'm going to say this guy graped me.
That college coach?
Thank you.
What's his name?
Yeah, from Michigan. The guy from Michigan.
College coach?
Sharon Moore. Yeah.
Where the judge threw it out when they had a very consensual thing going on. They're doing the same thing that you would expect a child to do.
Child would do.
And that's what makes it unusual, which is like the stuff is so common now. And I've always said it before when I call them double dippers. The line was always drawn of how to differentiate a lady versus the prostitutes and escorts. Of course. Me and Mr. Fantastic talked about this when we did our discussion together. You always knew where the line was. And now when they're jumping back and forth, they want to act like, dress like, and be like them. But simultaneously, the Duke lacrosse team, again and again and again. This is so common. And now they're talking about where's all the men, where the major change now is all these dating events, men ain't even showing up.
Nope.
And they're showing up, men not approaching the same amount of women to the same degree that they were. Everything is via text and email to make sure they have a paper trail to show certain things now. Yep. Men are just moving a little bit different because of these type of reasons. So it's like we're having less children now. Men are not getting married at the pace that they used to get married historically. A lot, one thing I'll acknowledge about this generation of men is a lot of them are adapting. They are adapting to a market where you don't know. Like I said this to my wife when, me and her had these type of discussions and conversations, and I tried to explain to her, I really do believe that women are not loyal to men. I believe that they're actually loyal to their feelings about said man.
Absolutely. 100%.
So when you're, and I said it to her, when your feelings are cool with me, when you love me, that's all. I said, you love me until you don't. And I said, so when you don't, when women in relationships and when they break up or when they get divorced, the version of who she is that's leaving is not the version of who she was leading up to that decision. The woman leaving is somebody totally different. Right. So what she's capable of and how she's thinking, you got to keep that in mind. I'm not saying be completely terrified of women, but I'm acknowledging that duality exists within women. You absolutely can change. You absolutely
be scared of women. Let me tell you why. Look how they make fun of Mike Pence for saying, because I'm a married man and think about it. They made fun of him.
Open door policy.
Women who said all men are predators make fun of him when he don't want to be involved in the crap.
Yeah.
So like you said, they want to double dip. They want that. Why do you think as soon as they say they don't want to be sexualized, as soon as you say, okay, I won't sexualize you, what do?
Yep, there you go. There you go. And listen, Tommy, they
probably do it again. Do it again.
Let's see the titties, Tommy. Let's see the titties.
Let's do it, Melanie.
Hey, this is a family program, Tommy. This is a family program. Don't be showing them titties. And check this out. Look.
That was funny.
Tommy said earlier, What Tommy said earlier about 35-year-old women acting like, little girls or teenagers. What a lot of men don't realize is that as soon as they realize in their mind that men want to have sex with them, all maturation stops immediately. And the reason for that is because they now know that they have everything they need to get everything they need. Dating, relationships, marriage, children does not happen without sexual attraction. So this is why you have women in their 20s acting like that they are 14 years old. It's because at 14 years old, they discovered that men want to have sex with them. But here's the catch. They don't start maturing again until after they start buying their own drinks at the bar or the club. They start maturing again after the men that they used to that they used to bang aren't paying attention to them anymore. But the 35-year-old woman doesn't start maturing from the age of 35 in her mind. No, she starts back at 14 when she stopped maturing. And this is why you have an exorbitant amount and numbers of women who are in their 30s and 40s who act like fucking teenagers. She still got the mind of a 15-year-old because she thought to herself subconsciously, guys want to fuck me. I'm not going to have to develop a personality. I'm not going to be affable. I'm not going to be feminine. I'm not going to learn to cook, clean. I'm not going to be good company. Why? Because guys want to fuck me. And as soon as that attention starts to dwindle, all of a sudden their hindbrain says, uh-oh, we're not getting enough attention. Let me learn to cook, clean, be sensible, be affable.
No. They then complain like Christina Applegate about now that you fat and nobody wants you. Now you're going back and saying that men are wrong and you were used when you literally got everything you wanted because of how you looked. I was so mad to hear her, along with a lot of women, when they get old and they're no longer in the sexual market, they complain about the sexual market. They'll say that me, Blanche, or Donovan, or Corey, we supposed to now date someone age appropriate when we were the same age as you when we were 20. You didn't want us. You was dating the nigga with in his 30s and 40s because of what he had, what he drove, and you called me lame in high school for not having a car when you didn't have no car.
And check this out. They look at their age, they're complaining about us dating younger women. When you were their age, you were fucking niggas our age. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
And Chris Rock said it best. He's like, look, man, I didn't become rich and famous to date Anita Baker. Like he wasn't playing around.
Hold on. We ain't going. She a legend. Don't do that to Anita. Come on now.
Anita Baker was always gorgeous. You ain't gonna do that to her.
Don't do that to Anita.
Him and Anita the same age. You don't want that.
Body and soul.
Yes, Blanche. Okay, Blanche. I'm gonna show you and the ladies. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all something to discuss. We were just talking about what black women had said, and I want to get y'all's opinion. Let's see. It's two things I want to give you. I know I don't want to do what we the girls said about us, because I don't want to do that. You and I have done that. But it's two things I want to, and I don't know which would be more fun for y'all to all talk about. You and the ladies. I know what? Fuck it. This might be the more fun. Listen to this.
Walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman. There's a weakness in him. Ooh. Something in him is weak. On the other side, I think when I see a black woman with a white man, despite all the historical context that we know that sits behind that, I think, oh, she must have got she's tired. Like she must have got so fed up that she's getting to rest now.
And
choose black for everything but your love. I think that's really what it goes back to.
So why is not the standard for Kamala?
Unfortunately, we have that standard
for women
higher for men than we do for women. I can call that out, right? Because I can be the first. I say any day of the week. If I see a black man with a white woman, I'm like, that's that deep ass self-hate, my nigga. You need to do something about that, right? Flip that same coin. I see my sister with a man, I'm gonna say girl, go where you loved. So I get that. And I can honestly say that's a bias I probably need to check. Do I plan on checking it today? Hell no.
You need to. Do
I plan on checking it in 10 years? Probably hell no. I don't give a damn.
I call them wenches.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Blanche. Here's the question that I'm going to ask you and the two ladies. Why have black women been allowed to be open hypocrites like that?
Ladies, Raw G.
Let's go.
Okay, y'all want me to go first? Fine. I'm gonna just tell you with my honest thoughts. These hoes is delusional because at the end of the day, if there's a weakness in a damn black man for dealing with a white woman, then there's a weakness in a black woman for dealing with a white man. It's reverse racism at its absolute worst. At the end of the day, if you happy, I don't care who you with. You want to be with a Spanish person, a white person, an Asian person, a purple person, whatever makes you happy, that's cool. Do you, boo? But I'm not gonna sit there and then see somebody that looks like me with the person that you want to be with and say, oh no, now that's okay. F that. Like, what the why do these hoes get, you know what? Why are they on social media? Somebody take the internet. Please. I need for black women to just
need it. If it wasn't for the internet, y'all would have been saying, y'all started off when I was talking, y'all said I was lying. Did they not? They said that the things I was saying were not true. What happened? Women got the mouth and they started saying exactly what I said they say.
Yep.
Melanin, I asked you the question. Why are black women allowed to be open hypocrites? Not that they're open hypocrites, but they're able to do it, and we sit there like men and the rest of the world, because that's what Blanche and I had to watch. Four people sat there and kept talking, and none of them corrected the other one. They didn't say, this sounds stupid. Why is it that women do this? Why is it they're allowed to do this and no one corrects them?
Well, I mean, in the sense of the black woman, based off your question, the only response I have is, who gonna check me, boo?
Oh, shit.
Yep. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
100%.
I ain't got shit else to say. Like, what?
What it is.
Because they are allowed to. I don't know why.
And then what's crazy is you, and I'm not saying all, but majority of them go to a white man because you don't want to listen. It's not like you get with the white man that's really building a structure. From what I've seen, it's the one that promotes the bad behavior. Usually when a black man is with a white woman or any other woman from another race, it's because she's quiet, she's submissive, she speaks to the higher power in him. She has a healthy regimen. She's in the gym, like she doesn't mind being his woman. It's a completely different experience for her to have that outcome. And the only reason why you have an issue with him over there with a white woman is it's because you and your sisters betray such bad behavior. You know exactly why he's over there.
Ooh,
that's right.
That's why it bothers you so much.
Now, Blanche, since you wanted the ladies to go first, even though I asked you to go first because I wanted them to see what I wanted to see.
My bad. My fault. My bad.
You're all right. Now you get to say, because they came out strong. I was not expecting that.
I mean, I agree with Melanin. Black women, when they see a black man with a white woman, they know that she's doing what they're not willing to do. They know it's not about looks, because a lot of times the white girls don't even look good. So when they see a black man with a white chick, let's say she might be 200 plus pounds, and they see her, they know at her core she's a woman. They know she's feminine. They know she's submissive, and they know she loves them. All of those things black women tend to not really be good at. The things that men ask black women to do, black men specifically, they don't have to go to school for it. They don't have to pay for it. Black women refuse to do it. And so I agree with Melanin. They know deep down inside that this woman right here is what I'm not willing to be. And honestly, they don't respect black men enough to do it anyway. The reason why they don't submit to black men is they don't respect black men. They look at black men, they look at white men, and they say subconsciously, this man is better than this guy. But that guy don't want me, so guess what? What's she gonna do? Most interracial relationships are not between black and white. They're between white and Asian or white and Hispanic. Right. So black women don't really have even a chance to get a white guy. It's a very small percentage that even do. So this notion they can just get them a Chad is insane. But the sharecropper chick with the overalls on, that one.
Hey, yo!
I'm like, I know this big. I know this chick done been baling hay and flattening out horseshoes. I know she ain't finna talk about getting no white shit. Ain't no way.
Oh man.
That nigga said she been shoeing horses.
Paula Bunyan finna talk about getting a white man. Man, stop.
Tommy, I do got to run real quick, but I do wanted to just to speak on this topic. I think from like a psychological lens, because I've been thinking about this for a minute. I think, because I said it to, I can't remember if it was Mika or somebody else. I think interracial relationships for Black women that are seeing a Black man with somebody that's not Black, a Black woman, I think that what they're seeing is, what they're feeling is, it's the equivalent of like looking in a mirror and knowing that you're seeing something that you don't like, that how it makes you look. What I basically mean is, when you're looking at an external relationship of two people that you may not even know, like when they get super upset about the Black athlete that they would never have a chance with, ending up with some Spanish lady or some white girl, whatever, that in their mind is a shot at them, at themselves, as a collective. So what I think is happening is, it's a mirror that's being held up to them. Is like, why not me? Why not us? Why aren't we in that position? And like all the people, like what Melanin and what Blanche said is, that mirror is revealing I don't measure up behaviorally, aesthetically, with my weight, with my mouth, with my attitude, whatever it is. They're looking at something that shows why they're failing. Like the best reminder is, imagine if you were like, coming from a poor family and you're hanging out with your friends, going to school every day, but periodically your friends will say, oh, come over to so-and-so's house, we all gonna link up, we all gonna meet. The moment you go in so-and-so's house, instead of it being kind of similar in the similar economic bracket as you go and you're like, their house is amazing. Everything that's wrong in your sitting, your home, your background, they have it. And it's that feeling, it's that tension. It's a reminder of what you don't have. It's a reminder of what you haven't accomplished. It's a reminder of what you haven't elevated to. It's a reminder from their lens of what their value and worth is in the dating market. When they look at those interracial relationships, that literally is a reflection for them internally that we're failing, that we look bad, that guys that make money that look like us will choose somebody else. That's the internal thing that's happening when they're looking externally at a relationship that has nothing to do with them. It's showing a mirror of what they look like on the dating market. That's how they take it. This is why they'll have such visceral reactions with relationships that has nothing to do with them. They'll even take that internal feeling of inadequacy and they'll turn it into outward hatred. That's why they'll get you hate your mother, you a sellout, you a coon. He may have never said anything about Black women. They just, by seeing him with somebody that's not Black, it brings up all of these emotions, inadequacy, failure, et cetera, et cetera. So all I think that's happening is, they're seeing a mirror, they're not liking what they see, and as a result, that's the visceral reaction that they end up getting at. And of course, the wild part is, if you see that, if you're witnessing that, the people that's like, oh, I don't like my body when I look in the mirror, and you got the people that's like, oh, I'm going to avoid mirrors now. Then you got the other people that's like, no, I'm going to go to the gym now. So instead of looking at Black men being with non-Black women as just inherently a reason to hate and a reason to be angry, what if it was used as a motivating factor? Every time I see somebody or groups of people that look like me, but ending up with, what if we turn that inward and was like, what if we actually do got a problem? And I'm like, why y'all got to wait till, like Donovan said, till you get to 35, 38 to reconsider? Maybe the men was on to something. Like, why do you always wait till the fall off happens? Why do you always wait till the weight is there and all the extra baggage is there? The sooner that you learn the lesson. All I'm going to say is, interracial relationships especially from the Black male to non-Black female situation, for Black women, they see that as the greatest indictment against them. So I'm like, if all y'all got to do is use that as internal motivation, you actually won't be angry at all. So when I was a young guy, Donovan, all the guys here is going through what I'm about to say. When you were 16, when you were 18, when you were 14, you saw who the guys were that were getting all the chicks.
That's right.
And there was a side of you that wanted to be like, damn, I hate him. How he doing it? What's wrong with him? He ain't all that. He ain't this, he ain't that. That's one way. Or you could watch and observe and study him and be like, how do I become that? How do I get those type of options? How do I have to dress? How do I have to carry myself? How does he talk in front of these ladies for them to be? And before you know it, when you learn these things and adopt the things that you need to change within yourself, you ain't worried about what other guys got going on, because you already got your own motion. If black women in mass, only the ones who even care about this, because I know plenty of black women who this is not on their radar. Like, it is what it is. They see it and they keep it moving. That's because they have the quality type of relationship they already want. They have it already. They don't. This is the furthest thing from their mind. So what I'm saying is, for the ladies that are still stuck in this mental hole, all you got to do is use it as a mirror for motivation, not a mirror for hatred. That makes sense.
Hey,
yeah, it makes too much sense, and that's why they're not going to do it.
I'm gonna let you go next, but I got to read this for whoever this is. I would like to express my appreciation for the content and the discussion. Thank you for your work.
Hey,
Luki 873 came from somebody's, whichever one of you guys. Let me tell y'all something. What we got right here, we have 2,532 people watching combined of everyone. So that is a nice little number here. We're going to try to do this every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And of course, you beautiful brothers and sisters are welcome every night to come and join the panel. Number one. Number two, if you guys are watching and you do appreciate it, do like Ronald. Go to your favorite or your least favorite or whoever it is, but support the brothers and sisters who are up here by going to their pages, subscribing to them, hitting their, I don't know what that's called because I ain't been on YouTube in a long time. What's it called?
The notification bell.
Yeah, but that thing where that guy just said.
Oh, thumbs it up. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the super chat. And hype it. And hype it. And hype it.
What the fuck is that?
I don't even know what that means.
Hype is new.
That hit me.
The hype is new. I don't know how to
hype
use it.
is new.
I swear to God, every time I think I have this YouTube thing figured out, there's always something else. Like, you know,
No,
man,
when
I
you-
hype this shit.
Yeah, when you go to somebody's video, if they have the hype notification set up, you
Helps
go
push
in
it back
there
in the
and you can put
algorithm,
the points. Yeah, it bumps them up.
So,
And
like,
for those who are wondering what my channel is, I am on Rumble. Just go look up on the Rumble. And go to Rumble and look up the Tommy Sotomayor Show. I'm right there on Rumble. You can't beat it. Somebody said he's sending me a shot of that nearest, but I don't know what it came from. Oh no,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Fantastic. Do you have any?
I just did an interview with the guys that are trying to acquire the company today.
Mm.
So that's what they're talking about.
You ain't got nothing that's near. You got nothing nearest to you.
Nearest,
I got some liquor, but it ain't nearest. You know what I'm saying? I just did the interview. I never tasted it. I never had it.
Uncle Nearest it's intense, man. It's the only whiskey I've ever had that actually gave me a hangover. That shit is hot.
Oh, word? Yes, I never. Yeah, see, I couldn't tell you either or.
Yeah, that shit is absolutely crazy. Does anybody else have anything to add on the video? I guess while we're waiting for Tommy to pinch one off in the bathroom.
Free
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. Have a good evening. Thanks for welcoming me in, man.
Ask a brother. Hold on.
Oh shit! There it is. There it is.
Hey.
Yeah, dude. Ask a brother, man. You're a fucking smart dude, man.
Crazy.
You're teaching me shit. I'm like, God damn.
Oh, by the way, Donovan, I messaged you back in like November, brother. I was trying to.
What platform? Because I never.
IG.
Okay, dude. I never, dude. My Instagram looks like a fucking Instagram thoughts. IG. I've got messages. but what I'll do is I'll go in there and we'll link up. I'll just give my cell phone number and
Got you.
like that. But yeah, I like talking to you, man. You're a smart dude for real.
I appreciate it, man. What you
And
about to say?
shouts out to my man TM Riley. I hate doing this, but you know when they throwing money, we gotta show them love.
Making it rain, baby.
We got that. We got what is it? This new one here.
On the titties, Tommy. That's what it was from because you showed them.
Chat. So one over in mine, but I have to have them to put it in there. I don't know why it works that way. But there goes another one.
Hey.
Sticker.
Cool.
Show love. There was one in mine, but I don't know how to do it. What I have to do is copy it.
If you go to starred, you can like on the right side it says live and then starred comments. It has in the parentheses. You'll see all the super chats.
Oh, look at you! Oh shit! Then so I have to do this.
That's the only thing I know, y'all. Don't get it.
Thank you, sassy girl. TM Riley threw $10 at me. Thank you very much. Thank you very, 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 very much. But I'm gonna take a shot of this Uncle Nearest, and you're right. This Uncle Nearest is intense. This is like one of the ones that's the biggest. This is 93 proof. The other ones I have over there.
Wow.
Yeah, 93. Shit.
93 is. Oh.
Good.
This motherfucker 93 to infinity if you drink.
It ain't 151. I'm gonna tell you that.
Woo!
College days.
I tried that
I
one
thought I
time.
was gonna die.
93 until.
Man, 151. But Blanche, what you was about to say, brother, before I head out?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think, okay, so I look at all of the women in the world, and Black women are the only ones that get the label of queen and goddess. They get the highest status among women, Eve, Jean, all these things. Do you think it's harder for them to, I guess, see the light because of all the propaganda they receive? So like other races of women, like a Hispanic lady in Mexico, she's not being called a queen and a goddess. She's just not. I mean, so, but Black women in America get put on a pedestal by the media, Hollywood, everybody. Do you think it's harder for them to have to compete with that kind of propaganda and programming and then try to, be submitted to a man? I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I think 2 to 3 competing things are absolutely going on. And I do think that, of course, we got to acknowledge like individual responsibility matters for sure, right? But beyond that, I do think a lot of people in the space today only want to isolate what we're seeing, what we're dealing with to specifically just volitional decisions. They want to ignore any and everything that's happened to this community to get us to this point and then blame the current modern day people for how we got to this point. And I'm like, nobody who actually knows history would agree with that. You would look at this as all interconnected. CIA, drugs, 90 crime bill, you name it. There's a whole host of things that kind of set things in a certain way. And I would tie it probably back to the starting point being between the 60s and the 80s. The 60s and the 80s, we all kind of know a variety of different things kind of started to take place. The difference that I'm going to say is, regardless of the propaganda, regardless of the indoctrination, regardless of what the media said, yes, it's true that Black women got a unique level and experience of oppression that most other women in the country didn't get. That's legit. That's real. So whenever something hit hard with America, the Black community got hit the hardest. So when you're taking those women, if we keep saying that they're all hypergamous, if we're saying they're all looking for support, if we're saying they're all looking for providers, that doesn't change based on race. That's just a thing. So if the group that was targeted the most, that was harmed the most, meaning like when those factory jobs left in Philly, in Camden, in Michigan, different pockets, who do you think got hit the hardest with trying to find replacement income? The Black community, i.e. the Black men. So there was a sustained period of time between the 60s and the 80s, and you could even kind of drag it into the 90s, where unemployment or underemployment was hitting the Black community harder, which meant their women had to figure out other means to make sure income in the home and the children were being provided for. But when they started to get those degrees, and when they started to follow and do all the things the liberal white feminists were telling them to do, that was the key decision and issue they made, that mistake that I think that they made. Now, as a result, all the media, all the propaganda, all the indoctrination, you can name it, fine. But the issue is they were the ones that swallowed it in mass, doubled down, tripled down. So when Donovan's like, all these things could have happened, but you don't listen. Now, I'm in front of you right now. I'm here right now with a job. And what lets you know we can't point to just the past is because you got Black men today that are working, that do make more money than you, or are building something, or have accomplished things. And it doesn't matter which tier of where he is in life, he's still going to see a side of you you'll never show your boss.
How many question for the panel? Who knows what the Mexican blackbird is?
I've never heard of it.
Endangered species?
None of y'all gonna get this $1,000 I was gonna give for who knew it.
It's up on the ceiling. It goes beep all the time. Every time a chick talks.
No, the Mexican blackbird is a half black, half white. I mean, a half black, half Mexican whore that Billy the Kid used to sleep with at Pete Maxwell's place.
How was we supposed to know that?
No, bro, what?
The comment section put it. If he
well, God bless him.
I mean, none of y'all watch Young Guns.
I did. Great Young Guns 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yes, you remember when he kept telling them they gonna take the Mexican blackbird down to Mexico? Billy was lying to the people, telling them they trying to go to Mexico. And finally, a few of them got killed. They said what he said. where's the Mexican blackbird? And he said, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's just a half black, half Mexican whore we used to fuck.
That's
So
And what he was doing was
So you
saying,
know.
and what he was doing was basically saying, you can lie to people and get people to follow you into death over a lie that they didn't even check.
Right.
Because he had all of them riding with him,
Right.
saying he knew the way to get to Mexico. And he did it because he knew he didn't want to leave Lincoln County. That was home. He never wanted to leave. And a lot of y'all are with people in your life. Going back to what my man Jeff Asker brother was saying, a lot of people, when you talk about this Kool-Aid and how we drink this and we fell for this, I think it's more simple than that. I think a lot of people are stuck in a spot and want to bring other people with them.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that
Misery loves company.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did not want to see you when you was in. We the only people who say to each other, "You think you done forgot about the hood." You ain't never heard nobody say you done forgot about the trailer park.
Facts.
Sure don't.
Facts. And Blanche, and I'll say this, because the real question everybody's asking at the end of the day is this fixable? Is this going to change? Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? I'm going to give my honest opinion based on how we got to this point. It'll only get better based on the condition, not that the women who currently don't respect men or respect black men are just suddenly going to snap out of it. No, I don't believe that at all. I think it's going to change when their financial situation changes, when jobs are less, when the economy gets worse.
Yeah,
and what I mean by that, and again, I was careful with my words. I doesn't mean that they all of a sudden now respect men, or that they now see value in men, or that they now want to. No, it's because now it's expedient, it's necessary, it's a requirement. If you take all the luxuries and things that modernized American and westernized women have, and you put that in any country around the world, you're going to see the same pattern. You're going to see it.
Yeah.
Pretty much take away all women's rights.
Yeah, it's just an act. It's out of necessity. So whenever you have something in crisis and women need men and they're forced to go back to the men, that's exactly what it'll be.
What's going to happen. That's how it works.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to not understand or see, why don't people see that that's what Trump is kind of doing with what a lot of things that he's doing is trying to bring back the nuclear family.
Yeah.
I mean,
because everybody looks at everything through the lens of resentment, and that's really the problem in the African American community. It's not that black women don't listen, it's black women resent that they have to work so hard, and black men have not been the providers to the same degree. And black men resent that black women don't sit there and just stand by their side while they're trying to get things together. And the reality of it is everybody needs to keep their genitalia to their damn self while they're getting their stuff together. But unfortunately, everybody loves to hunch and suck and play stupid games, and nobody likes to use a contraceptive film or a condom because
hold on, nobody told me that y'all was gonna come up here and fucking attack me. I ain't gonna say
well, I'm gonna say this.
He was 7 years old. Cut him some slack.
I will say this. The major issue with our women in mass getting very educated, getting their salaries up, all this great stuff for them as individuals, is that they took what other women were doing as well, and their psychology did a flip that wasn't really quite what I've seen in other communities here. What do I mean by that? When you go to an Asian restaurant, is it just Asian men working there, or do you see Asian women working there too?
Ooh.
You do see
Jamaica
family.
When you go to Little Italy's and you go to Chinatown, when you go to all these different establishments, all these different businesses, our women talk about their money in a way where they can look down on all the men that don't make their money that much or less.
Ain't that what you said earlier about them being that, haven't that been? And I told them, I said, wasn't the biggest thing that black women got them on national TV was in the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. They were going on Donahue and all these places talking about they're more educated than black men, got more money than black men. Isn't that what Blanche? Isn't that what those 4 girls said on that panel?
Yes. So the crazy part about it is, if all the demographics, all the major demographics, all the women are on paper literally more educated than their men, but only one group talks about being better than their men because of the degrees, because of the money. And then when you look at the statistics of who's making all the money, do you notice the East Indians? East Asians and all these different groups, it's the men and the women that's making the money, which mean they're both working, they're both contributing.
Asian women,
all women are the ones that talk about looking down if you got to build with a man. When I was in college at a PWI, you could see the difference of the women that was going for just a degree and the women that were going for the degree and the man. It was night and day difference. They were taught and trained, or as soon as they got there, they knew after sophomore year the clock was ticking. And I saw party white girls who was doing it all freshman year.
They changed their ways, bro.
By the end of sophomore year, that switch hips on. They're going to certain classrooms where they know that the guys with the certain majors would be. That like they know they're projecting out what he's going to be, and they're already putting their claws in the right guy. So by the time it's ring by spring, that was the thing our ladies weren't taught.
Jeff, I gotta ask you something, because you went to PWI and I learned this, and I gotta ask you, and then I'm gonna start reading some of these things that they want us to discuss. So whenever you guys send whatever they're called, a Rumble Rant or
Super chat.
Y'all put them up there. We will read them and we will discuss them. So make sure y'all say something. But I gotta say this to you, since you went to one and I went to one. Here's one thing I learned. You tell me if I'm full of shit or if I hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
The women, I learned quickly that they were going to college to find a mate, and the men went to college to find a connection. Meaning, I learned really quick that it wasn't about the degree, because if you notice, most of the white boys who make the most money in the world, they don't have a degree. But what did they learn in college? The nigga to talk to, the nigga to hang.
Networking, nepotism set up, all of that. Yes.
It was real. It was real. And what I'm basically saying, Matt, is for our ladies, they think they're playing the same game that they're not, that the other women are. You're not. You running to get that degree was a means to an end.
That's right.
That was it. That's the end.
But it doesn't. But hold on, because it doesn't have to be the same game. Because in all actuality, when Black girls go to college, and I'm a sorority girl, there's a lot of Black girls that catch that freshman 15. Only the freshman 15 ain't because they went to the Mac hall. The freshman 15 is because they've caught a baby. So therefore, should Black girls be going to college and then losing their education in their first semester because they're winding up with a baby? I think it's very easy.
No, the white girls didn't fucking get pregnant.
I was about to say, but why are they ending up with a baby? Why are they ending up with a baby?
They weren't getting.
That's the question at hand.
All these other
this brings it back real quick. This brings it back to what
a lot of people were partying. Everybody was partying. Everybody was getting lit. Everybody.
But again, I'm not talking about everybody else, because I get it that's the lens that a lot of people like to measure through white people and through Asian people.
No, but we're wondering
we're using them as examples as to why the Black woman can't do better. That's
Robbie, hold on a second. Robbie, hold on 1 second. We're just asking. You remember what you just said? A lot of people shouldn't be fucking, and then we all agree. But I'm asking, why can't we fuck and not reproduce? Why does one have to lead to the other one?
Because apparently we don't have the capability to have a sexually good time and not procreate and have children.
But why not?
But because it's not a conversation happening that's happening in the household with mother and daughter. What you're failing to realize is what Donovan put on the screen. What Donovan put on the screen earlier about the lady in the comment section, and she was talking about white women do it all the time. The difference is that the white women are told that you can have this moment, but you better get married. There's a lot of conversations happening behind the scenes that we are not getting. What we're getting is you steal the bomb with this child. You steal the bomb without this virginity. You're above him. You're more important than him. Our entire mindset is being ruined in the household with these mothers.
We're too accepting.
To be honest.
We're too accepting, Raw. We're too accepting of the behaviors that are bad.
Well, I have a tendency to disagree. And I know you guys say that I am an outlier, which is cool. But I know
if you disagree, tell us.
Yeah, because I know for a fact that what white girls do is they'll give up their coochie, but they'll make the boy bust off in their booty hole. Black girls not letting no dudes bust off in their booty holes.
You're missing the bigger picture. The busted open booty hole is still getting married.
Hold on, Melanin, because
We're missing it. The busted hole booty hole is still getting generational wealth. The busted hole booty hole is still getting the big wedding, the family photos. Like
they're not doing.
What are we talking about?
They're not doing solo baby showers where
I don't
the
want
man's
you
not
to listen
present.
to react. I want you to listen to hear. So if I say 3 words and then you jump in because you have a response, that's not really having a conversation. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, right? If you were raised in a household as a Black girl where it's acceptable for you to be having sex in the first place, for you to be having children before you walk across the high school stage, yeah, that is the problem. So we do need to have those conversations. However, because we know that this is what the problem is right now, how do we move on from here? Is we tell our children to simply stop having sex. And it doesn't matter if everybody else in the world can have sex and do all this and all of that. For a moment in time, I'm sorry, the Black community has to slow down on the sex. They have to start recentering education. They have to start recentering morality. It doesn't matter if everybody can do it and still get generational wealth and big weddings and all this and all that. You can't. Just like if everybody's jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge, are you jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge too just because they're jumping off and they're not getting hurt? You shouldn't.
Yeah,
your statement avoids accountability.
Yeah.
I have a 20-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old. Neither one's pregnant. Do you know why?
Because you've instilled it in them.
No. Because contraception and you can't come home with no baby was something we said. We didn't tell them you can't fuck because we can't stop them from being human.
Not gonna stop that.
Yeah.
But what we did tell them is, remember what you said. You said, I was trying to tell you earlier, and it was like you were disagreeing, then you came back and agreed, but then I understand why you were going away because you said we don't have the capacity to do that. I do believe we have the capacity. If you set Aiden, Black people, I think we're educated enough. If you set us down and you tell us there's a better way to do that thing that you're doing. Because remember, Black women didn't used to get weaves and wigs. That was something that white women did in Hollywood. You looked at it, saw it, and you turned a Hollywood thing into a household name. You were smart enough to figure that out. I do believe that my daughters aren't special in no kind of way. I don't think they are. I don't think they're smarter than Jeff's kids. I don't think they're smarter than Blanche's kids. But you know what I think? I think that if you just let them know, here's what's acceptable in this house, and here's what's not acceptable in this house.
Yeah.
They will live that thing out.
Let me add one last point to what Jeff was talking about in terms of the difference between the typical white woman that goes to college and the typical Black woman that goes to college. Yes, they by the time their sophomore year ends, they're trying to take classes with the high value guys or the future high value guys, pre-med, pre-law, etc. There is no greater example of this in action, gentlemen, than professional sports drafts. You look at the NFL draft, you look at the NBA draft. I'm telling you right now, 60% of these niggas that get drafted in the first round, probably higher than that, are with white girls because white girls understand the assignment. Yeah, okay, they're popping the pussy and they're giving it up and letting dudes blow in their booty hole or whatever the case may be. But what they also do is they invest. They recognize someone that's high value and say, hey, you know what? This guy might be a first-round draft pick. Let me get with this guy. Why? And the thing is that American Black women have just as much access to these men as non-Black.
They have more access.
More and earlier.
James.
And no home training.
Yeah,
no home training.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. There's no home training, and we want to keep skipping over that.
They get
to
the right thing. I'm gonna say this to you, Donovan. I'm gonna let Donovan jump back. But Donovan, I just want to say this to you. I'm gonna change the number that you said. You say 60% are with white women. We're in 2026. When you watch the draft this year and last year and the year before, and I pointed it out to people, 60% of them niggas are half breeds.
Oh, that's very true. And you want to know why?
Came from a nigga that got a white wife.
Did.
Yes, their fathers did.
What their fathers did. Patrick Mahomes is the perfect example.
Cameron Boozer, 2 kids.
Dude, Carlos Boozer, we just saw something on ESPN. Again, this doesn't mean that Black women are wrong or that there's something wrong with them. It's just that their focus is wrong. And then they want to complain, well, why are all these NBA and NFL niggas, why are they with white girls? Because the non-Black women, they invest in these guys, whereas Black women, they're not there to get a husband. They're there to get a bag and have a good time, and that's fine.
They're there to hit the baby daddy lottery. They're there to have a kid and be secured for the next 18 years. That's what they're there for, and we've seen it too many times.
But having a kid is not a security blanket for the next 18 years, because as soon as if a man dies,
if your baby daddy is a millionaire,
the marriage. That's the marriage. You do these. I'm telling you, these white girls at the draft, they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, so you got a black girl who might have a kid here or there. No, these non-black women are investing. They're like, you know what? I don't want to be set up for 18 years. I want to be set up for life. That's the
Travis Hunter's wife, that white girl, got it. Got a marriage, then got a baby. That's generational wealth she got
and
right
no
there.
prenup. And no prenup. And again, so that's what he's saying, man. At the end of the day, I'm with y'all. It's unrealistic to say to be abstinent. That's literally impossible. Biological imperative for both men and women are not going to allow that. People are going to have and freedom. Your first time of freedom. You're not just going to put your dick and pussy up and not use it, okay, or explore, whatever you want to call it, right? The thing is though, actually you have to give young black women some credit, because young black women's at least I guess like the teenage years, they definitely went down in pregnancies and motherhood, right? For the first time now. You got more 40-year-olds having babies than the teenagers, right? For black women. Yeah. So it's not that they don't know. They're with a combination of, they do have a little help from the baby abracadabra.
Baby abracadabra.
Yeah, that's a real stat. Black women over, I think it's either 35 or 40 have more kids than teenage black women now.
I think it's 40.
It's 40.
Raw G brought up something, and what you actually brought up is actually a really, really good question about what's the incentives that's going to cause this to change. Some of them will happen naturally or organically because this stuff is cyclical. But there is one thing that I saw a lady, she went viral a while ago, and she has 2 or 3 sons. And she talked about how she had certain things either in a will or in a certain type of account or trust, where certain types of ethics and behaviors were
morality clause. Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly right. Yeah.
And me and my wife already had this conversation. By the time my child turns 18, we want to have certain accounts set up for at least 2 things.
Nice.
Or 3 things. One, in terms of if she decides she wants to go to school, this is what you're going to get if you complete it. Number 2, this is what you're going to get if you get married without being pregnant. But this is what you're also going to lose if you do the things that's going to derail generational wealth.
That's parenting.
So
exactly.
Now, when a lot of people say, "Oh, that's crazy. That's this. That's that." Well, everything that Raw just said. When we keep saying, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" I know what an adult child is likely to factor in is, I'm gonna give up 30 grand. I'm gonna give up 50 grand.
I'm gonna give up the property in Colorado. I'm gonna give up the property in Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah. And hey, shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, no, shout out to Jeff. That I was saying, I forget what lawyer it was, either Morgan or somebody. He was saying that. He was saying, hey, his kids aren't allowed to get married without a prenup. If you gotta talk to him, because if you get you out of the will, you out of the trust. You have out of the will trust, you have no access to the
all
thing.
This begging, all this pleading, like you're trying to well, I raised you, and now they're grown. Now they can do what they want.
Tell them what to do.
No,
right.
I got
enforceable things that it's a consequence. That's the consequence.
And thank you, Accent Brother, because
I got looked at as a bad parent because I did something.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people didn't know I did it.
You let us be the judge of that, Tommy. What'd you do?
I'll let y'all be the judge of it. My daughter's first. Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying this. My daughter's first car was a Porsche Macan.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you tripping?
God damn.
You tripping?
Nice.
Kids, bro.
Let me finish the sentence. Her first car didn't come until her second year at Duke.
Oh my God!
Exactly, but that was the point.
In the school where all the people had brand new Porsche, brand new this. Guess what she had? Her daddy picking her up and dropping her off.
Damn right.
Amen.
Wow.
But
so she had to deal with being around all them other students because she went to a private school. So all them other kids, Shaq kids, son went to go to the same school.
That's right.
All of them had cars at 16, the baddest cars. 17 came, she didn't have no car. 18 came. She had no car. 19 came. I had to see what them grades look like after the first year.
Now,
Exactly.
on that macro level, Raw G, I meant to tell you this. So on the macro level, we got to stop voting for parties and policies that create the incentives that we're complaining about now.
Exactly, but that's one thing that I've always talked about since I've been on this platform. It's about politics and policies and procreation. You have to keep your legs closed. And I mean, as a young woman, I was given incentives. So my family has generational wealth. We can also trace our family tree back like 15 generations. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm sitting there and I'm saying to people, what are we doing? What's the incentive? I'm not talking out of my booty hole because I had several degrees. The degree I'm working on right now is my 4th one. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I come from a family of women that are Black and men that are Black that have stayed together, been married, have families with education. You do have to incentivize our children. But you know, whenever we're talking about well, you can't just be having sex like that, and people get so explosive about it. No, you can actually put morality clauses in trust. You can actually tell your children what they are and what they're not going to do. And Black children are not allowed to just run around willy-nilly, just popping it and busting it wide open. The fact that you said there's 12-year-olds getting trains ran on them and at 6 and 7 hunching, like I couldn't even spend the night at somebody else's house when I was
during
a child.
school hours, ma'am. I'm trying to tell you, like a lot of stuff that parents find out is after the fact.
Thank you.
And now we have to deal with the after effects of it. And so for me, it's like, I think 2 things could be true, right? When we talk about like, well, where were the parents or they're not good parents? I'm like, if you're a therapist, if you're a clinician, if you've done any of this work, you're actually dealing with the troubled youth. If I worked in a prison, right? This idea of like the prisoners didn't come from homes where they knew right from wrong and they weren't raised a certain way. I'm telling you, like a lot of what you're saying, most people, after about 10, they know. They're just choosing not to.
And I agree with you.
It's a volitional choice. Now, the consequences, what you're saying is me and my wife can do that based off of our tax bracket. There's going to be people that's much lower to the economic thing where they have to find out
most of the community.
Yeah, they got to figure out what's the other incentives or things that we can do to really build this up. Like that's
okay, but just like how you said that parents don't know what's going on during the school day, right? If you don't got no job and you on welfare all day, you don't got nothing but time to pop up on your kids during the school day to make sure they're in classes and they're doing what they're doing and they're not sneaking off behind somebody's bleachers, bending it open, busting it wide open.
That's right.
Home in the projects in Section 8, busting it open again and making some siblings.
Hold on. So one thing is, Mr. Fantastic was right. But then you could tell that a lot of these women are thinking about whether it's the sex or whatever it is. But I had a lady in my class this weekend, and I'm telling you, she was like functionally illiterate. Like I had her read a slide, and she could not read this slide. She's telling me, I need my glasses, and her glasses was sitting right next to her. And what I'm thinking is, why would she go up to the school and try and embarrass the child when she can't read herself? Right, that's the thing about it. You got a blind leading the blind. A woman that can't read trying to teach her child how to read, and then come up there and try to say this ain't right, and she don't even know what she's talking about.
Like
and another thing,
literacy rates going on right now in the Black community. Do people really know what those rates are?
It's abysmal. The thing about it, even with the literacy rate even declining, but these are the people that are out here that are trying to stomp and come up with policies and say we need to change this and do that, but you can't even read the text that you're even talking about.
But you got to remember,
math is racist. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, ask brother, didn't you say that women have taken like the biggest thing is that Black women took femininity and they swallowed it whole?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, feminism specifically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to make sure we go off on that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, there's a link in the description box. If you guys go ahead and take a look at that link. What he was talking about is, speaking of swallow it whole, go ahead and join my OnlyFans. Go to onlyfans.com.
He walked right into it. He had no idea what was coming.
Listen, make sure you
Walk
got
right in, sit your black ass down.
all night, man.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. First of all, don't ever segue me again.
I told you. I told you.
Gonna swallowing whole.
You walk right into that.
Don't you ever?
you guys go
put all
join
three
it.
of that in the same sentence with me against her.
Keep your guard up, Jeff.
You
That
go
is
join
crazy
it.
work.
Watch these wonderful interviews, especially the one I have with Yana Van Sant. Now, people were saying that Yana is a reformed feminist.
Yes, she is.
And
clearly, yeah.
But all right, y'all. Have a good night, man.
Good night.
Good
All
night,
right,
Oscar
brother.
brother.
I'm about to check out your podcast.
we all about to check out, but I got one more thing for y'all to see.
Okay. Oh, let's go. Let's go.
What do y'all think about this?
Listen to this weird ass white man with this big face gorilla sitting over there to his left, to his right. Listen to what he says about how the people who didn't vote for Miss Harris hate black women.
We are none of the things that he's promised, and this tomorrow is never coming.
So I think first it's the question, what do you mean by his folks? Because I think there's two big categories there. There are the people that are, like deep loyalists, MAGA, and by that they mean Trump only. And that's one segment. And then that larger umbrella around them are all the people that voted for him last time because of the vibes. Or because they hate a black woman, by the way, but mostly the vibes.
Clock that.
But that's the truth. And so...
And you heard the big fat head black bitch say, clock that. This is why people don't like black women. That stupid ass shit of saying, clock that, clock that.
Yeah, I gotta ask y'all something. Her big ass agreed with this homosexual white guy saying that the reason people didn't vote for Miss Harris was because they don't like black women. And they were allowed to say this on national TV.
Insane.
And her words to him was, clock that.
Clock that.
Mr. Fantastic. How did they get away with this shit? Because
Was
we
that
didn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, was that CNBC or CNN? Which one?
One of them. It don't matter.
Look, one,
Right, Donovan.
yeah, cunts and cocks, right? That's what they is. What to do of them? You feel me? Anyway, man, it's crazy to me how just little and literally negative that the Democratic Party has done for black people. Lyndon Baines Johnson was a damn warlock because that was a curse that hasn't failed yet. Had to be. Niggas gonna be over the next 200 years, and we not even halfway there. You feel me? So I don't understand this thing. Kamala Harris was a bad candidate by all accounts. The woman lost. There were, even if double the black men fucking voted, the babies, she would have lost. Okay, little nigga come out. Man,
You see me had an argument with that stupid bitch. And she tried to tell me that the reason she lost is because black men didn't vote for her. I said,
Like,
bitch, every black man voted for this woman. She still would
she
have lost.
lost. She's still gonna lose just as much. So again, but that it goes to show you what we say all the time, Tommy. Black people are so behind in the most important things: economics, politics, understanding how these things work, right? And then you get into the whole aspect of this thing of where it's just this coalition with the the men that like men, which is crazy to me. Black women, they are the biggest supporters of the brotherfuckers. It's crazy to me, right? I don't know how or why, but if it's a gay man somewhere, it's a black man right behind him or right next.
You know why?
Uh-oh.
Well, go ahead.
Tell us.
Brother Blanche. Tell us, brother.
I'm gonna say it again. Who is the black woman's biggest cheerleader?
The twinkle
The
toe.
brotherfuckers.
There you go.
You just saw a Jewish man slide in. They hate black women. What does that even mean? Like he just slid it in there because they hate black women. So that's what I was saying earlier. If you take any other group of women and put them under this kind of programming, think about this. Think about Kamala Harris not winning, and it's because we hated black women. That's crazy. Nobody else is getting that. White women ain't getting that. Hispanic women ain't getting that. Asian, no other group of women are big. Tommy had a video earlier with Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor at the Oscars acting a complete fool. And I'm like, what? You at the Oscars. Talking about somebody pushing me. Nobody touch you. First, I'll tell you, like a wide receiver. Anybody gonna touch you and push you at the Oscars. But she was making a big old scene, and nobody said, "Calm down. It ain't that serious. Chill out." They just let her do it. I'm just like, what the at the Oscars? So what I'm saying is that I don't know any group of women that could be under this kind of what we call this program or whatever, and not succumb to it. I just don't see how they wouldn't. If the movies, TV shows, CNN, if everything is saying y'all are right and everybody else is wrong, how can they succumb? I don't know.
Well,
I gotta go ahead.
Go ahead. No, we'll go to Donovan, then we'll go over to you, Corey. Go ahead, Donovan.
I'll quickly respond to this, and then I got to jump. I got dinner waiting downstairs. Yeah, I think
and all that shit you get in your house, then, nigga.
Man, hey, you know how that goes. So listen, man, I got a woman who cooks. She takes good care of me, man. So
right, you know how to season, so he better get down there.
You been trying to throw shit in the nigga's face. Next thing you gonna tell me is it's gonna have a warm bed to get in.
And he do.
Yeah. Well, actually, look. I was gonna flex like this and let y'all know what's really up, but I said, you know what? Let me keep it classy. Let me just keep it classy. I agree with Mr. Fantastic. I think that Kamala Harris lost because she was a bad candidate. That's just all. Like that's all there was to it. It didn't have anything to do with anybody hating black women or this fake misogyny that white liberal women are blaming. They had a bad candidate. And this whole, black queen, this black queen narrative by everyone in this country, I honestly don't think they actually believe that. I think they call women black queens to patronize them. I think they do it. It's almost like, Tommy, when you and I were on Fresh and Fit years ago, you were talking about how a person who was like special needs sort of, messing around. Well, you did very good with those blogs, right? Like we're patronizing these women, and this is why they think they can do no wrong. And when they think they can do no wrong, you got women like Tiana Taylor acting a fool on national TV, and nobody can check her about it because what does she think? It's just like Melanin said. Who's gonna check me? And nobody fucking did. And nobody did. My name's Donovan Sharp.
And Donovan, before you leave, do you know the Oscars apologized to her with zero camera proof that she was ever pushed?
Oh my God.
Well, she was eating them groceries. So they're gonna say sorry to her.
Yeah.
Oh, in the movie.
You didn't know she was eating Sean Penn's ass in that movie?
Yeah, that's why she got the Oscar win.
Hold on.
What?
Lamborghini doors, baby.
Lamborghini.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Hold on, she won an Oscar?
And ain't Sean Penn like 800 years old?
Yep.
It's all between the cheeks. And why would they show this? I have no idea.
It's just like Halle Berry in Monster Ball. She got an Oscar. The only time you get an Oscar as a black woman is you doing some crazy shit with some white man. It's degrading.
Tiana Taylor got an Oscar?
Yes, for that movie.
Supporting actress or some shit like that?
For eating ass. Let's just call it what it is. Eating ass.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that visual. As I
watch the movie, Donovan. Enjoy.
Thanks for Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, you gotta watch it now.
So, Jesus Christ. I'll watch it after dinner. I'm watching it after dinner.
There was a black woman in a movie called Jungle Pussy.
Yep.
There was they made Leonardo DiCaprio say, she looked at him and said, "You love this black pussy. Say it. I love black pussy."
This is crazy, man.
Hold on, Tommy. Leonardo DiCaprio is an established Hollywood historic actor, and he will reduce himself. I'm trying to tell y'all,
and Sean Penn,
both of them reduced themselves for the Black Queen.
And Sean won Best Supporting Actor for that.
Kamala Harris ain't even black, but in order to be a candidate to be president, she had to say she was black. I'm just saying that when it comes to black woman, it's a whole different level of program. This is out of this world. She got an Oscar.
Oh, they said the chat is saying she didn't get an Oscar. I guess it was
she didn't. The movie did. She didn't.
Okay, I was about to say I seen her on stage hollering and crying.
The movie won, I think, 5 Oscars.
Okay, I was about to say I seen her up there crying. Oh my God, holding it like.
Mm-hmm. And if you
Yeah,
think
no,
about it, her part was very minimal in that movie. But yet, you got her in everything now. Because she did that, you see her on TV all the fucking time.
Yep.
Exactly.
She's in everything.
She wasn't. She tried to get another black man to clean up her image, and that wasn't working. So this was the only next option.
Think about it. When she was married to Iman Shumpert, she wasn't getting none of this hype.
No, at all. Career been down the drain the whole time.
Any sense now? But I think you're Blanche are 100% right on that. That maybe some grace has to be given to black women. Because what the fuck else would a little girl do if society told them nothing you do is wrong? To start shit and nothing happens. Matter of fact, you'll get an apology. There was no reason to apologize for Tiana Taylor after that incident. There's no video showing she was ever pushed.
Did they issue any apology for Michael B. Jordan and the other man getting called the N-word?
They did, but at first it was a backwards ass apology because the first guy that got up there, shout out to his gay self. The only reason I liked him is because he was the blue guy in the second X-Men, and now I don't like him no more. The one that was going through and got ready to kill the president, right when he got ready to kill the president, they electrocuted him. He was Wagner, Kurt Wagner of the
he was Nightcrawler. Who was what character was it?
So he got old now, but he's actually gonna be back in Doomsday. So he was talking, but I hated how he apologized. He said, the guy who said this, he didn't mean it. He suffers from Tourette's. And so you may hear, now this is what he said before the second thing he said. That's what's funny. He said, so you may have heard the outburst. We apologize for that, but he suffers from Tourette's. And then the white boy said, shut up, faggot. Did you not?
Equal opportunity.
Yes. He just, shut up, faggot. They had to take him out.
He was saying to the nigga, he was saying about them pole smokers. Nah, yeah, you went too far.
Yeah. They said, wait a minute.
Hey. Can't offend the rainbows.
But I do want to say something to somebody who's in the audience. Then I gotta let the ladies speak on this. But it's somebody in the fucking audience. It said, you're no different. You say the same thing and we listen to you. First off, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't listen to me. You over on YouTube. You ain't on Rumble and that. And they would never let me be able to say any of the things I say on TV, number one. And number two, the fucking things I say are indisputable. They are correct. This fucker sit up there and said, the only reason people didn't vote for this half-breed, she's not even a half-breed. Her husband is part Indian too, so she's more Indian than anything else. I mean, her dad, excuse me. And he came out and said it. You remember Donald Harris is his name. Yeah. Her own father came out and said she's not black.
Right.
And y'all still said this bitch is black. If she was black and she was black because of her daddy, do you know who she would have had on the fucking campaign trail with her? Her daddy.
Her daddy.
She was never with her father, who is very much still alive. He was a professor at a big college here in the United States. Look him up. Google him. Donald Harris is his name. The reason why she did not bring her father out anytime is because her father said she's not black. This is a grift. Her own dad. Right. Somebody said her father lives in Washington, D.C. He said it, so they never brought him out. Now imagine, and I want all y'all black folks to think about this. You think they'd have ever voted for a black man who A, had a Jewish white wife, and B, had a mother who was alive and never brought her around on the campaign trail, kept this bitch at home?
No.
If your own mama won't come out and say, I endorse this person, your own daddy wouldn't. She only talked about her mom, who's dead. So we don't even know if your mama would have came out and corrected your ass. It was so sad. But again, when you say this person, sir, ma'am, that is why I'm banned from so much stuff, because I say stuff you cannot dispute. You ain't found nobody been able to tell you how wrong I am. Why it ain't no videos on YouTube? You got all kind of videos about the shit I do over on Rumble. You know what you don't have a video of? and they would have been undid this, I've been doing this for 20 years. There'd be a video of all the shit I said that was wrong, and they would just play me saying stupid shit myself. Why that video don't exist?
That's the curse of being right.
They've never done it. They've done this to everybody. They play a fucking video of the president of all the things he said that was wrong, and they run it back and forth. There's no video that does it between me. There's none. There's none nowhere. They got videos saying I'm gay. They got videos saying I got kids I don't take care of. They got all these. There's not one video that shows you, here's all the things Tommy said that was wrong.
Or lie.
Yeah, or lied. How does this not exist? And yet I'm banned. Now that ought to tell you something. If you really give a crap, you'd start looking for things that were true or false. But I want to ask the ladies on that. When you hear this black woman sit there, and I'm gonna go to you, Melanin, first. When you hear you see this black woman sit up there in front of all these white people and the one kind of black guy. Listen to this white man say, the only reason they didn't vote for her was because they hate black women. Does it seem that black women using what would be the word? They over-exaggerate simple things. Like if the black guy says he don't like black women, they'll say he hate his mama. Does it seem like they do these things and they want people to do this?
They do it all the time, but some of that comes from probably some experiences that she's had. I mean, by just looking at the image of her, that bald head with that shadow that didn't compliment her face, I'm pretty sure you want to clock it with this white man. He probably enjoys rubbing your bald ass head.
Her head look like Stewie. You know how Stewie has football.
Yeah, you're not a first draft pick. And I say that humbly. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? For you to just be so hell-bent on letting somebody that's not even from the culture clock that, yeah, something else going on. You know, because a black man a black man can't say nothing and it goes without being checked. So that's just interesting.
I'm with you on that. This white gay man says this, and you clock that to him. Raji?
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of black people have no clue about what's happening in politics. Because the appropriate answer to why Kamala Harris did not win the election is that she only had 3 months to campaign because Biden was an absolute failure for the Democratic Party and he withdrew from the election in the middle of the race. In order to win a presidential campaign, you have to be in it from the beginning, not to mention the fact that, again, as it's already been stated, she's not a black woman. So when you're on TV talking about politics, clock it. You should actually know what the hell is happening in the political arena.
And why would they I'm gonna go back to you, Blanche. Why would they put a black woman on television to be the stereotypical black woman, which is the same thing they did with Jasmine Crockett? Why are black women so willing to do this? Because you don't see the black man that's on that panel, you don't see him doing real nigga things. When you watch the black men in politics, you don't see them doing real nigga things. Why is it that black women have to do real bitch things, but the black dude still wearing a suit, Democrat or Republican? Look at how we gotta act to survive, but yet black women get the Aunt Jemima all day.
Because society does not support bad behavior in black men.
Thank you.
Society supports bad behavior in black women. So a black woman can do literally any and everything and get not just not get held accountable, get celebrated.
They got the twerk on the campaign trail. They let Cardi B interview the potential. They let her interview the president. Did she interview Joe Biden?
Yes.
Who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna check me?
You let a whore
and
president, a whore.
And I think it's interesting that Raw G, your perspective is that she lost because she only had 3 months. And it's not because of Megan twerking. It's not because
Cardi
Beyonce
B.
showing up with Kelly Rowland instead of Jay-Z. It's not because Michelle
Glorilla.
Obama got on the mic speaking on her behalf to tell her, even if you got to go against your husband, you vote for her. It's none of this. It's because she only had 3 months. With what we saw in 3 months and her being the vice president already, you don't think none of this plays a role?
Absolutely not, because she didn't have a public face while being a vice president. A lot of what Kamala Harris did while she was vice president was very much behind the scene. Therefore, she had no political equity with the voters, because the reality is, in the African-American community, most people don't believe that their vote counts, so they don't go outside and vote. Of course, she had Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and all of the hoopla because she had 3 months to campaign. So what you saw was a minstrel show trying to make sure she pulled in the Black voting audience, which is also why she went around and she capitalized off of the fact that she's an AKA in order to make sure that Black women came out to vote. Unfortunately for her, when we're looking at the demographics of the voters in American politics, the highest voters in American politics are Caucasian men and Caucasian women. At a close second is Hispanic men and women, and then African Americans. What she also didn't do is go into the states that she needed to swing in order to gain the Electoral College, and making sure that her campaign strategy and her platforming actually targeted the demographic that would come out and support her and vote Democrat. Because if you actually look at the polling results from that election, a lot of states that have been predominantly blue historically swung red.
But that was only because she was running against Trump. But also we could take it back. She locked up more Black men in the 90s than anyone. Like, these are the conversations that was surrounded about her running for president. Like, everything else you're saying, it's long-winded and it's nice, but the facts are she's never been on the home team. And I don't see how it's just not what Mr. Fantastic said, and she was a bad pick from jump.
Because Biden was also a bad pick from jump. Biden was one of the senators that actually promoted the 1994 crime bill. Because at the end of
comparing her to him instead of
he wasn't a bad.
Because
Hold on,
at the end of the day,
let me explain why he wasn't a bad pick from jump. Because he won his party's election. He went out and won it.
Right, and he went out and won it because he had enough time to
did.
campaign.
No, I'm saying
right.
She never did.
Right, of course she never
One
did.
time when she tried to run, she was the first to drop out because she got no
She
vote.
was so horrible. And again, and that's what we were saying,
Right,
Raw G. So we were saying, even though she had the option, because she fought against it and Biden fought against them not doing the primary. So she was a willing participant. She can't use that excuse, because she could have went through the proper channels and did it the proper way and actually had the bill. Now I believe I agree with you, right. They still had enough time because they were debating it. They had enough time to still do it to choose a better candidate.
She threatened them. If you primary me, that means you're jumping over the Black woman, and we're going to call you racist.
Yeah,
they got
exactly
into doing it.
She leveraged it.
Sure did.
She ain't even Black.
And she's not Black. Exactly. She's not Black. The bitch went on the fucking Indian lady cooking show talking about Habisha or whatever the fuck they call them. Damn Patel.
Yeah, she said, "You Indian just like me," to that woman.
Me, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
don't do that to the Indian people. At the end of the day, y'all can have y'all opinion on why she didn't win the election, but that's why she didn't win the election. If she would have went into that campaign cycle and she would have been campaigning from the beginning, I think she would have ran a much smoother and a cleaner campaign, and she would have had a better chance.
Even by the numbers though, even by the numbers though, Raw G, no, it's no way. It's no way. She lost every swing state. There's that'll be hard. I mean, it's possible, but it's highly improbable. The landslide that, let's say Trump don't win in a landslide, but still the way that he won, and then despite that, still you had to look at her policy and look at her track record and who she was. You can't place any of those things, and then trying to overcome all the things that Biden did, because they're still going to be on her ticket because she's vice president. She don't lose as bad, but she still loses.
And
right,
but
the point,
I want to say this part.
Mm-hmm.
If she had a real candidacy, and remember, when you're vice president for any kind of time, what you're setting yourself up for is for your run for presidency. So you should have been prepared for it already. Just like if you throw JD Vance out there right now, he's ready for it. He'll be ready for his time, and he's ready to do it. He might not win, but he's ready for it. But let me explain this to you. Here's my biggest problem. If she actually had policies or stances, she would have never felt the need to say, I'm an AKA, I went to Howard, I make collard greens in the bathtub. I know how to do the 1-2 step. Here's Megan Thee Stallion. You brought up literally a bunch of women, and because what I'm telling you is this, I don't care if you gave a black man 3 weeks to run for presidency. He's not going to bring Juvenile out. He's not going to sit up there and he's not going to do this. You know why? Because he knows the world. And I like that you said it, Blanche. We don't get the leeway to be dumbasses.
Right. But again, she's not black. She's Indian American. That's number one. And number two, she was running against President Trump, who was actually not projected to win. He already got banned. He got his second term stolen from him. Well, he lost his second term. That's what I'll say. He had the whole situation going on with the insurrection. You know what I'm saying? So there was no real anticipation that he would win. Trump fought an uphill battle from when he lost that his second term election. It is what it is. And I mean, I get the point that you're making, but what I'm saying is because of the amount of time, that's why she did what she did during her campaign. I do think Kamala Harris has some policies. I don't think that they were beneficial. I don't think they were beneficial to anybody.
She would talk about them, and she would go nowhere to talk about policies.
Well,
right, and that was a problem.
That's basically what everyone is saying is she had the policies, but they weren't anything, like you said, beneficial. So people were turned off by that. Like, and when you asked the question, she had a word salad. People were like, "What are you talking about?" She was not relatable to the people. That's another reason why she lost.
She just exactly, and she also had issues with Biden because when she was debating against Biden, she politely reminded Biden that she was one of those little girls that he didn't want to bust. So, you know, when people know the history of the terseness of their relationship as well, is why she was pushed to the back burner. And it's not like she is the first vice president that didn't have success in a presidential campaign. Look at Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson took over after JFK got assassinated. He didn't make it to presidency.
Or Al Gore.
No, that's not true. Lyndon B. Johnson didn't win his second term. He won the first one after. Go look it up. He won the first term when he ran.
Okay. Yeah, he had a one.
Al Gore didn't win.
But then Al Gore, you have to remember, Al Gore was projected to win.
Mm-hmm.
Put all that stupid stuff on him, and then if you even look back at it, he still won because the state that ended up turning the whole thing was Florida. And who was the governor of Florida?
Jeb Bush. I know.
You're talking about politics. You're talking to me. I spent years looking at it.
Yeah, but I want to say this. Just going back to what that lady, whatever her name is, like I can't remember, but the bald-headed bitch. But the first thing I wanted to ask is how does anybody pull her help from it? But you know what? Never mind. So a lot of these chicks talk like her with Clock That T and all the other stuff, and I heard it in the class this weekend. But then even more, a lot of chicks will attack you like how she does when you go against it. That's why it was so easy for them chicks on the other panel or the other one to sit there and say it with such cavalier attitudes, because there's nobody that's going to check it. And when you say it, you get all of the daggers to the back. You get all of the you hate your mama. You want to know what's up, Tommy? I put something in the chat, right, in the back, you know, whatever, the DM that's here for you. Click on that, and I want you to go down to a J. Major. J. Major is the comment. I want you to just read through that, because one of those things is these chicks. When you say it's kind of like hate to say it, but like when the gay dude said they're coming out the closet and the family goes up in uproar. When you say you're a Trump supporter or you're a black Trump supporter, all of a sudden you get all the daggers to the back. That's why she can sit there. She doesn't have to worry about anybody checking her. That's why I'm not on CNN. That's why I'm not there, man, because, you know, I didn't go to college. I'm not the smart man like everyone, they want to project and put people up there that they think is real smart and play nice. Because I'm gonna tell them, bitch, you wrong. And why would you say that if you're supposed to be setting an example for the young black girls? As you say, I do this for the young black girls, and a lot of women say this. A lot of black women say this. I do this for the young black girls. Well, you set the wrong fucking example. Be a fucking professional. Instead of you want to just relate to them, yeah, you could be a professional and you can actually show them that, hey, this is how we're going to get ahead and this is how we're going to do something. And whenever somebody brought up Kamala and they will say, oh, she's black. I said, well, okay, she's black and y'all want to vote for her. Where's her black family? Never got an answer. Because there's no black family. She don't have a black. She's married to a Jewish white dude.
And
where's her black family?
She didn't even procreate. He's got 5 kids and none of them were hers.
None of them. She hasn't had a family, doesn't have a family structure, anything. But all of a sudden, we're supposed to just take her word for it, and she's the beacon of blackness. No, she's not. If you go down, you can see the comment from J. Dot.
J. Dot told you he was going to what did he say? Put you on pause for another 30 days. Because apparently you.
Oh no, that's a chick. That's a chick. She said she's going to put me on snooze for another 30 days. But just read all of the vile shit that she said in that thread.
Well, I want to say this. I think that your little thing that you posted is actually wrong. You're giving straight black men. They need to drop below these white men and marginalized groups. Think about it.
That's why I asked
for illegal aliens than black men. Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah. Black men are not even on the pyramid. Black men are like on the ground.
It said the pyramid probably on our back.
Yeah, the pyramid it's under the ground. They under the ground.
Yeah, here's the thing. I can agree with that. But if you look at what I said, what do you all think about this? Or I wanted to get everyone's opinion. And there was some dudes that came in the comments that said, yeah, black men put them down lower because that's what they think of us.
And the reason why though, it's because of the contrast to black women. So in order for black women to have this kind of image, being this queen, being this all of these great things, being this goddess, the black man can't be seen anywhere near her or above her. So much of what the black man goes through is because the black woman has to be elevated. It's what I mentioned about this level of programming we've never seen before. Think about this, right? Kamala Harris, in order to run for president, she had to say she was a black woman. If she doesn't say that, she says I'm Indian, she has no chance. What I'm trying to tell you is Kamala Harris raised $2 billion in 3 months.
And
she had every advantage to win the presidency. Trump was facing, like Raw G said, Trump was fighting an uphill battle, facing everything. Kamala Harris secluded herself from Joe Biden for a couple of months. She was out of the limelight to separate herself, came back out, running for president. So she did everything right. She did everything right. She had the campaign that was right. She was appealing to every demographic. She went to in front of Hispanics speaking Spanish. She went in front of black folks twerking. Like she did everything right. The problem is she opened her mouth. And somebody put in the chat when the lady asked her, what would you do different than Joe Biden did? This was on the View, I think.
Absolutely nothing.
She said absolutely nothing. Now imagine how bad Joe Biden was. Imagine the country, and they're looking for her to say something different. She couldn't say anything. She said nothing. So everything was in her favor to win this election. Everything. I don't care about the time. It was 3 months. She didn't need all that time. She didn't, because she's about to get.
That was the better thing for her to not have as much time because she could make fewer mistakes.
Yes, she would have got exposed in a longer campaign cycle. She would have got exposed. So imagine everything in her favor, and she opened her mouth and put her foot in her mouth every single time. She couldn't help it. But guess what?
Yeah, was there a time she said something when she didn't put her foot in her mouth? When she would finally speak, was there a time she didn't say something and people was like, what?
Every time.
But she's a woman in politics. So that's another thing. I would say she's a woman in politics that wasn't well-versed enough to be campaigning in front of a lot of people as well. Because the thing is, when Hillary Clinton ran for presidency, she got a lot of pushback too. However, she's very savvy in the Hill. And she's also very media trained. So she knows what to say and what not to say. Look at how she dodged the island files, that whole conversation. She dodged that like she was in the whole Matrix. You know what I'm saying? But with Kamala Harris, because she hasn't really been in the forefront, and then she's a woman of color. I'll say that. She's not a black woman. She's an Indian woman. They were never going to elect a woman of color as president in the United States of America.
Well, why do you say this when we got a man of color to be elected?
Because Barack Obama was not black. Barack Obama is a half-breed as well.
She ain't either. You said you're gonna say she was of color.
Yeah, so of color. Okay. Yes, he's of color, but he's a man.
Now.
I am doing the Matrix. No, but he's a man. So you know what I'm saying? He was able to be polished and poised with what he was saying. If Barack Obama came out here, I'm not gonna hold you. If he would have came out here and he would have had Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and all of them playing on the campaign trail, he never would have made it. He never would have made it.
Remember, this man was just a community organizer. She was more polished than he was.
Tommy.
I don't. Hold on a second, Blanche, please. One moment. I don't think that your label in politics is what makes you polished. It's kind of like what you said earlier with the white boys that don't need the degree to make all the money leaving college, right? It's about networking. It's about knowing how to present when given the opportunity. Barack Obama has always known how to present. She hasn't.
I'm saying she should have known. By the time she had been the vice president, she had run her own campaign for presidency. Barack Obama had done none of those things.
Listen,
he was a junior senator.
I'm gonna have to concede to your point. She went to a black university. She went in a black sorority. She don't know no damn better. They had her drinking Jungle Punch. Okay.
I think it goes back to what Blanche was saying. She leaned into what she thought was the thing she had to do. She wasn't Miss Black and Black nowhere else. She tried it then.
Shout out to the AKAs.
Politically expedient for her to check all the boxes, like Blanche said. I love the gays. I love the elite. She checked all of the boxes, and they started to realize she had no substance behind any one of them.
Yeah, because that's not who she really is. That's not what she believes in at all.
That was what
and Raw G too. And Raw G. If you go back and listen to Obama's campaign, he was more conservative than Trump.
Mm-hmm.
When Obama ran, he ran like a conservative. So he didn't lean into black. Yeah, he led with conservative values, family, hard working. Like how Obama talked during this campaign was night and day from how he ended in his presidency. It was two different people. Exactly. So I'm saying, but with Kamala though, she didn't even try to meet the people in the middle of the road. Like she didn't even attempt to say, okay, I'm gonna come a little bit to the center. She just dug into black girl magic, immigrants, Trump race. Like she dug into all of it, and she opened her mouth. And like you just said,
the buzzwords.
She's not that savvy. She's not that bright. They was editing her interviews. Think about it. They were editing her interviews, so you wouldn't hear what she really said. Like they was redoing takes and it was bad.
She was drunk. I think she was drunk most of the time too.
But doesn't that show you how the whole machine? Doesn't that show you how the whole machine was behind her though? CBS edited interviews where she fucked up.
Yes.
They gave her a softball question when they said, what would you do different than Joe Biden? The person sitting there was shocked. She was like, bitch, we didn't even ask you no hard question. You fucked that up.
And not to mention pretty much her lying about Joe Biden's sanity, right?
Oh yeah.
So that part of it too, right? And then the crazy part about all this stuff being revealed after the loss, right? So yeah, just at the end of the day, she was a horrible candidate for all, and she played to the extreme bases of everything. At the same time though, right? Being that black people only make up, 13% of the population, even a smaller percentage of the vote. once you bring Cardi B out, or Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla. Let's not forget about Glorilla. Yeah,
she was at the White House.
Yeah.
And then this bitch said in her video, I'm sorry to cut you off, but she said in her video, I don't even know why they invited me up in this bitch. Who does this?
Again, man.
That's what Glorilla said while at the White House filming on her Instagram.
And she said, at the end of the day, the day got to end. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck are you talking about? At the end of the day, the day got to end. Shut the fuck up.
It's not profound.
Who said that?
It's kind
of
Glorilla said that when they asked about you went to the White House and I don't even get into politics and all like that. She had an interview, right? I don't even get into politics like that. You know what I'm saying? And then she said, at the end of the day got to end. As they were asking about her White House visit.
Yep.
Well, she went to go visit Biden.
No, I refuse.
So that was the long way of saying bad candidate. The long way.
But just think about it. That shows you how they feel about Black women. That it just goes back to what Blanche said. It's very hard to talk to a group of people you just told they can't do any wrong. So what logical conversation are you going to have with that group? How can you have one?
No, you can't. Couple that with, like I said, just complete and total ignorance of how the thing's supposed to work, and identity, anything outside of identity politics. What are you expecting?
Yep. The discussion that we was having, me and Blanche was having with these people. Those women felt like if you're a Black man, they went from saying Black men shouldn't care about Black women's hair to we do our hair this way to attract you Black men. Everything they said was so crazy, it became confusing to me to hear it. When you watched it, because I saw you do a replay on it, Blanche, I gotta get your opinion on it. Was there parts where you thought, man, are they playing a joke because you heard them saying things that were counteracting what the one said before? What part did you say, okay, because I know you kept saying, hey, you said, I have no beef with y'all and I love y'all, but the fact that you even had to say that prior to giving your opinion, why did you feel the need to do that?
Because I don't want them to deflect from what the conversation, because they're going to say, I don't like Black. No, we get that out the way. I love y'all. So now let's talk. So I try to just get that out the way. We're not going to sidetrack and sidestep. We're going to focus on the issue at hand. So I love y'all. Get that out the way. Now let's talk about the issue. If I don't say that, they're going to be like, he hated my, you know what they say. He hated his mama. He Black. Look at him. He don't, come on, they talk. But I know them. This is the thing. The first girl, Michaela Montgomery, she was the one that said the most outlandish things. And my issue I have with them, and I told all of this, I said, y'all agree with everything she said. I said she was lying. I said nothing she said was true. I said, y'all didn't push back on one thing.
Oh.
I said, she was talking crazy. And then she said, your mama's bald-headed, but if your hair don't come past your ear, you can't talk. So first you saying that you love your hair, and first you saying we hate our mamas, and now you telling me there's a criteria to talk about Black women's hair. If you're a woman, you got to come past your ear, and if it's not, you got to be quiet. And if you're a Black man, you got to shut up. Meanwhile, what Tony made the great point was health, finances, and psychology, what the hair is doing. Then also we can add, they don't go to the gym because of their hair. So it's like everything negative is coming from the hair. I want y'all to pull up one viral video of a Black woman acting ratchet in public with her natural hair. Show me a video where you got a Black woman with her natural hair and she cutting up. She in the window, she's throwing drinks through the window. She twerking on. Show me a video of a Black woman with natural hair, no perm, no nothing, but just natural hair. Show me her cutting up. You don't see it. And what they don't realize is that hair is an expression of the behavior. When they put that bust down on their head, they become a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They become a whole different person. They don't want to acknowledge that. Amber tried to say that guys holler at her more when she got a weave in her head. I was like, Amber, when you get that bust out on your head, you try to go everywhere in the city. And you showing your body.
Mm-hmm.
You got the bust down. Your body is showing. Of course, they're gonna holler at you, and they're not hollering at you to be a wife. They trying to smash. Stop. So they weren't honest at all. But the first girl was the most ridiculous one because she got invited to the White House. She done met Donald Trump. Think about this, Tommy. She's met Donald Trump. Donald Trump praised this woman. Ask me why he praised her. I'll tell you.
Her natural hair.
No. She got praised because she's a black woman that said a few things of common. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. The standard for the black woman is just be black woman. Think about it. How does this woman get to sit with President Trump?
No, you're right. You remember those two women? One of them died. Those two black women. The weirdos. They put
Silk and Diamond.
Yes, they put them out front. Their pictures was dumb.
But that's what I'm trying to say. All they have to be that's the standard to be a black woman and say something with some sense.
Angela King, she was on the. She said some crazy shit. Then brought a gay male son, who is a woman, out and had her. You didn't know she got a son that's a girl, and when she was going at me, she had him making videos against me. And I was like,
who is this?
Angela Stankin King.
Oh yeah, Stankin King. Yeah, I remember her. The lady with the mole, the big ass mole.
With her son?
Yes, had her gay son making videos towards me in a dress with a bust down.
Yeah, man. Listen, again, that's another thing too. I've actually heard a black woman say that she cried when she saw herself with like her first weave. And it's crazy to the programming and the black women don't understand the obsession and the addiction they have to somebody else's hair. And they always go European beauty standard. Well, y'all started the first motherfucking wig or weave y'all want is a blonde one for some reason. So how you going? Y'all don't like black women because y'all.
Who invented the hot comb?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand how and why. So that's what I'm saying. And you had so many years of where black women, whether you rocked a fro or you straightened your hair or whatnot, what have you. I understand not using the the perms and things, especially now you find out fibroids and all the health issues that it caused. But why can't you just wear your natural hair? If that's gonna, for one. The amount of money that black women spend on the weave industry is literally bolstered and held up by them. The weave industry as a whole is crazy. Yes, billions upon billions of dollars, and y'all get a little bit of kickback from the few hairdressers that install it, right? Ooh. So that's what we saying, man. If you just stop buying weave for a year, black women can take the whole motherfucking industry over by force and control it. But hey, it is what it is.
Oh, and there was a few other things that she said that really hurt my feelings. And again, nobody pushed back. The one girl said, and black men, y'all have the same kind of hair that we have. You never see a black man with long hair. They either bald headed or cut it short. And I was like, bitch, you never watched the NBA game or an NFL game?
Right.
You never seen rappers? Nigga, it was this nigga on YouTube who used to talk shit about me all the time. He's like, oh, we. This nigga was in his 40s when he grew his hair down his back. He was in his 40s when he did it. Then they had the nerve to say, nigga, why you don't grow your hair? I said, bitch, because my hair stopped. I'm 50. It stopped. I didn't cut. I didn't sit up there and throw no white man's hair on my head either when I had a head full of hair. When my hair used to grow, it was all head full of hair. I love my hair. I had no problems. I used to grow it long and twist it. Used to sit up there. I had to dread it sometimes, cut it off, start again. I don't have no problem.
I had dreads for 7 years.
Right. I
don't went down in my back.
The hair bitches came.
In my 30s, I had dreads. I had about Yeah, in my 30s, I had dreads. It went all the way down to my back. I started growing them from a bald fade. I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna start doing it.
That we don't have our hair long. And again, she told another lie. She said, "Don't compare us to your mama, because your mama and your grandmama, they had years of learning how to do their hair." I'm like, wait a minute. Then they would have passed it to you, you stupid bitch.
Exactly. They would have taught you. And especially if you our age, so that you can't even use that excuse. If you're under, I would say maybe 30, you got that excuse. But if you're over 30 for sure, you definitely done got your neck burnt by a hot comb before. Just for me, all the shit that fucking black women did from a hair standpoint, when they first started box braids and all this other shit, before the weaves even hit, because weaves didn't even really hit for real until I say I was probably about like maybe in high school, and then especially I think like early late 90s.
Them off a bitch, didn't it?
Huh?
You remember when we was young, when they had black videos, you would walk by and snatch a wig off
Yeah,
a girl.
yeah. We had that wig on. Remember the yeet? That was the thing that they
we didn't believe in it.
Yeah, nah. That's not nothing that was even a thing. Like when we were kids, weaves and wigs weren't that big. The braids was the most they would do, because what's Poetic Justice when Janet had the braids, the big braids in Poetic Justice, her, and then what's the name had the smaller version.
Box braids and singles.
Regina King.
Yeah, Regina King. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So and then the shortcut was definitely a thing. Jada Pinkett had a shortcut. Nia Long had a shortcut.
Bob, that's what they called it.
Yeah, the bob. Yeah, all so that's what I'm saying.
Bob's
yeah. Angela Bassett had the same thing. T-Boz had the what's the name, and now y'all getting them how many pieces? What y'all call it? What they call it? Raw.
27 piece.
27 pieces. Just put a whole chicken box, a family chicken box on the head. What the heck? Why is it 27 pieces? Ain't nobody explain this, man. I still don't know how the hell is 27 pieces, but hey, hey, it's crazy.
But again, listen, y'all have been wonderful, and I would love for y'all to watch that video, but then it got late. But the video was really sad because the women sat there, was 4 of them. I will send it to y'all and let y'all, all the people who haven't seen it. And I'm gonna send y'all Blanche's version because he broke it down way better than I did. I just sat down and yelled at the bitches. I yelled at the screen. It didn't come out. You know, y'all know I get mad. But it was sad. I think I did let you see it though, Roger. But it's sad to listen to them, women, fight tooth and nail to where they were arguing against themselves. You had the one who apparently is a half-breed, because she said her mother went to go get a wig, and she said the wig was $4,900, and I showed her where she can get one for just $71, and she said she was going to go to a wedding and she wanted one, and she just popped it on before the wedding and popped it off afterwards. And I said, you stupid bitch, do you hear what you just said? Number one, you just said your half white or full white mama knew nothing about wigs, which means she had never worn them. If she was willing to pay $4,000 for a wig that you had to show her she could get for $71. That's number one. Number two, you just said it was a special occasion which made her ask for a wig, and then stated she popped it on for the wedding and popped it off right after. Why would you be talking, lady?
What the fuck come with
we were saying?
Hold on. What the fuck come with a $4,000 wig? A brain?
No, so this is the thing about wigs. The more expensive they are, the better quality the hair is. So if a wig costs like $5,000, that's that, they done took their hair and sacrificed it to the gods for their prayers, and they repurposed it into a wig.
Yeah, Jesus, has he got the tomb? Is Jesus hair?
It's Jesus hair. Buddha hair. It's Buddha hair. It's Buddha hair. Hair Krishna.
Why? What is it when you put it on your head? Is it going to infuse in your scalp, and now you're going to be growing up for the rest of your life?
Tommy, for $4,000, that bitch better turn it into Thor, and it better come with the hammer and the axe.
I hate y'all so much.
$4,000.
Oh my god.
Somebody died behind that wig too. You know that, right? Somebody died behind that wig. They killed somebody for that.
Yeah,
wig.
You got to listen. Got to.
Jesus wept on the wig. Yes.
I don't see how there has to be a pay limit. Like you would say, no, it's not worth that. Like if I told a nigga right now, man, I paid $100,000 to fuck that bitch. It don't matter what she looked like. Every nigga would be like, bruh. It don't matter what she look like. They gonna say $100,000 though.
But this
so that's
is
what
the
we're
thing.
saying about $4,000. I get that you like hair. What did $4,000 get you?
Okay, I'll say this: for $100,000, you're only gonna get one turn on that turnstile. For $4,000, she better have that damn wig for like 4 or 5 years. You understand what I'm saying?
100,000, we go together. Ain't no, you crazy?
Nah, that's a lie, baby.
You got slay. I own you. You crazy? 100,000, I own you.
That's a lifetime mortgage, baby. For 100,000, baby. That pussy is mine.
Yeah, mine forever.
Yeah.
You better not go nowhere. I promise. Listen.
Exactly. Hey, if you about to die, you better call me before you leave here.
That's a damn shame.
100,000.
Straight to Instagram, put some pictures up. He done went to Facebook and made a committed relationship.
Right, in a committed relationship, it's complicated, right?
Exactly. It's whatever.
She thought she was slick. She went to sleep in the bed like this. He
I'm
up there
Suge
like,
Knight, bitch. I'm like Suge Knight. I'm in all the pictures, all the videos. I'm in all the shit, bitch. $100,000.
She woke up chained to the bed. Oh no, that's a new life. You ain't going nowhere. Mm-mm.
Right, that's a salary. That's not a lifetime.
Right.
That's what we saying, Raw G. I think men just look at something differently because you telling me you spent $4,000 on hair. I just want, and I'm not even telling you I won't give you the $4,000, baby. I just need to know why is it $4,000?
Why is it $4,000? Shit, but no. Oh gosh, I did watch that.
I paid $100,000 to sleep with this woman. He gonna be like, well, what else came with that? If I then say, oh no, I had that pussy for the last 10 years, he'd be like, oh, okay, well, I understand.
I don't understand. You still overpaid, nigga, but you done had it for 10 years. I understand. All right.
So we can't understand. And the fact that y'all are willing to do that, like a Birkin bag, there's not a nigga on earth that think that makes sense.
Nah, Birkin bags are stupid.
Especially when Mr. Chang and Mr. Chin said they can make that shit for $500.
Right, but this is the thing. That's the same thing with wigs. A lot of people be paying for these wigs. They think it's quality. They might as well go get them for the low because they're going to change it in 2 weeks anyway. I'm just saying real quick. Yep. I think the women that were on that panel, they missed the opportunity to have a really honest conversation. They were too busy trying to have the gotcha moment. I mean, even when it comes down to hair and the story of Black women's hair, Madam CJ Walker and all this and all that, I'm gonna give y'all the long read down. Black women wear wigs because our hair is thick and our hair is annoying, and nobody has at least a good 14 hours to dedicate to natural hair every week when they're doing 50 million other things. So the wigs are easy to do. I'll say it's a little bit lazy for those that don't do anything to their hair as far as maintenance, like moisturizing and, taking their natural hair down and washing it and really feeding it to grow. If you just put a wig on and you just leave the wig on for like a month, no, sis, your hair should never stink. Just like your box should never stink, your hair should also smell good. All right. But, there's people that are ridiculous.
I'm lazy, though. Listen to what you're saying. The majority of Black women think a stinking box is a normal box. Why do you think, even in the Black movies, they say you can smell sex? In almost every Black movie, the idea of you smelling sex before you walk in the room is a thing.
Because hoes is nasty. Like at the end of the day, ladies, make sure y'all get yourself some of this. Okay, keep some of this on deck. All right. Drink you some water. Take you some probiotics. Okay, go outside, walk around, soak that tunchi. Y'all better not be smelling like no damn fish. Ew.
How about stop letting niggas busting you raw and then going to the club right afterwards?
Well, yeah.
And fuck, and I've told them after we got through fucking, go in there, you can take your shower. No, I take one when I get home. So you just gonna walk around smell like ass? They don't see a problem. I've had bitches when they's on their period. Hey, bitch, go take a bath. What you talking about? Bitch, you smell like pennies. Ooh. I can smell you on your fucking period. Like a whole fucking iron smelting company in here. What the fuck?
He talking right now.
That's nasty.
Hey, Tommy, good Lord.
I can smell blood and I hate the smell of it.
Hey, so I wanted to say this because we were just talking about the hair and everything, right? So I pulled into the job and I asked one of the security guard brothers, and I wanted to ask him, do he really date chicks with hair? What was your answer, bro?
I do, but I would encourage him to take that shit out.
Exactly. You said he encouraged him to take that shit out. My question is, why do women think that men or black men like this shit when we don't?
They don't care what
Because that's right. That's the lies they tell themselves.
If they actually listen to dudes, they will understand that 90% of us will prefer natural look. They do it for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
He said for women validation.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, Corey? They said if you, they said it because black men are cheap.
Pictures on that's all for each other.
Yeah, the girl went viral last year. She says because black men are cheap. Any man that tells you anything about weave, he don't like weave, is because he's cheap and can't afford your hair maintenance.
I
That's
mean,
literally the thing.
at the end,
They find every reason. That's crazy.
Yeah.
that is crazy because here's the thing. A man, you shouldn't be worried about if a man is cheap or not. If you're wearing a wig and your man doesn't want you to wear a wig, then that's something you should be maintaining on your own, first and foremost. And I think women need to maintain their own hair from the get-go. I think a lot of the maintenance stuff that women expect from men, like the expectation of it is cumbersome. It's not attractive. It's not feminine. But when it comes down to this hair, y'all don't do it for dudes. You do it because you want to feel sexy. You have an internal image of what sexy looks like to you. And you want to project that to the man. And if a man is telling you sexy is without your wig, at least take your wig off in the house. Let him play with your natural hair.
Sorry, that's fucking with me. I'm broke because I don't like weave.
Yeah, they said that. Tommy, if I had a clip, I would show it to you. But yeah, the girl literally, I think it was Jessie Woo, the Jessie Woo girl. She said,
said what now?
Jesus Christ.
Any black man that tells you he doesn't like weave is because he's broke and he's cheap. He don't want to afford. He can't afford your hair.
They find any fucking reason just to say, like, just to downgrade some shit instead of just saying maybe I should change some shit and do something with my hair and stop being fucking lazy. They find any fucking excuse or reason. You must be cheap. You must be this and because hurt people. You just got to fucking try and find a way. You must be broke. No. I just asked a young man that I don't even really know him, right? I asked him, men don't want that shit. He said, I would encourage it. He said 90% of that shit is the women doing it for each other so they can compete with each other and say, guess what? I got this Yaki in my head to brag to each other. That's bullshit. You know what? Shut up.
This is
hold on, y'all. Hey, Tom, I gotta go. Listen, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Let them know where they can find you, Blanche.
Y'all can find me at He Is Blanchard on YouTube, Instagram, Free Blanche on Rumble and TikTok. So that's where I'm at. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank y'all for entertaining me today. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all too. And I'll see y'all soon, hopefully.
Yes, sir. Got to come back next Tuesday. Hey, Raw G, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me on YouTube at Mind Chaos Real. You can find me on iTunes at The Petty the Best. And yeah, do that. Make sure you check out my music. It's sexy. This has been.
Why you don't know music with me?
We could do music anytime, Tommy. Anytime. I'll come right over to Georgia.
I've been wanting to make some music with you for a while.
See, doing too much. You know, I'm married.
Songs.
I know, Tommy. You know I gotta play with you a little bit, honey. Gotta play with you a little bit. We good.
You don't play with it too long. Get some on
See?
Oh, that's quick.
Tommy's crazy. But I definitely will come back next Tuesday. This was fun. I'm glad I survived on through.
Yes, we have fun over here. My girl Melanin made it back. Melanin got a little sleepy. Melanin, tell them where they can find you at, pretty girl. She back, but not really. Corey, tell them where they can find you at.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter, Corey Brooks. You can find me on Facebook, Corey Brooks. You can find me on Instagram, Locked and Loaded 0351. and Red Hill podcast coming soon. That's what I'm gonna work. That's what I'm working on. Once I get out my stuff good and ready, I'm just gonna start just letting the world know, my views on politics.
Well, later on the day,
It's the
we're gonna
world.
make sure we can get your mic and stuff set up. So later on the day, I'm gonna hit you. We're just gonna do. I'm gonna set up a space and see if we can get it to work. Get it to work.
Okay. Well, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody on the panel and all the conversation. Thank you all.
And my man, Mr. Fantastic, where the fuck can they find you at, bro?
Mr. Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms. That's YouTube, that's X, that's IG, that's TikTok. I'm officially a TikToker now. I got banned because I refused to TikTok, so I got suspended for a little minute. But yeah, man, Mr. Fantastic 824. Wherever you find that name at, you'll find me at. Appreciate your time as always, bro.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know when the show starts. Y'all just walk your black ass right in and sit right down. Here we go again. Mr. Fantastic, you didn't get the chance to see this at the beginning of the show, so take a look at this.
Set your black ass down. Set your black ass down. Everybody's talking about ties for a mile. They wait you, your mind. Set your black ass down. They set you in the walk right in. Set your black ass down. Then set you in the low. Walk right in. Set your black ass down. Everybody's talking about toys for a mile. They wait you, your mind. Walk right in. Set your black ass down. Set your black ass down. Set your black ass down. Everybody's talking about toys for a mile. They want you, your mind. Set your black ass down.
Walk right in and sit your black ass down. Thank you to my girl Melanin. Is kicking Melanin out. I don't know why it's doing it. I love you, girl. Thank you. And I love all of you guys. Thank you for being right here. You walked your black ass in and sat down for 3 hours and 32 minutes. And I enjoy it. If you guys, again, if you have not went over to watch my interview with Iyanla Vanzant, please go over to onlyfans.com/Tommy Sotomayor. Right now it's 75% off just so you can go and watch that. Michael put $20 on it. He said, I am done. $20 for the song. Thank you guys so much. Everybody that decides to help to share and do all the things that you guys do, you help me stay out of jail for child support. So I appreciate everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.